Are we live?
And we
Talk to me. Are.
almost live. And we are live.
Hey, welcome back to the Slick and Thick program. My name is Mick Gall. Joined with me. I froze.
We're live.
As always.
We're live.
Oh, we're L-I-V-E?
L-I-V-E.
Joined, as my co-host always, Gerard the Truth Michaels. Gerard, welcome back. Gerard's a comedian, folks, if you guys will know that. Gerard, why don't you tell a joke to our guest? But first, allow me to introduce our guest. We have a man. Well, I don't take this lightly when I call him a national treasure. His name is Jason Strout. Welcome to the program, Jason Strout.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for clapping, audience. We have an audience.
Yeah,
we have an audience here, and they didn't even clap. They didn't even clap. You had
That's
one
really
job.
disrespectful to my
you
friend.
had one job.
I may just leave. I'll go back to my van.
You
Smells
don't
like
have a
paint
van.
and gasoline.
It's better than the candy and puppies it normally smells like.
Well,
No, it straight up looked like a grape van.
Is that right?
Yeah, straight up.
Grape
yeah.
bed?
Grape
Gotta
bed.
avoid the grape fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun
I mean, well,
for
so
some.
true. Yeah. Nobody gives out
Depends
free.
what you're into.
Nobody gives out
Depends what
free
you're
drugs.
into.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all the times I got told that to watch out for the Halloween candy, because there was going to be drugs in them. They should have been telling me about the high fructose corn syrup.
Drugs. I thought it was razor blades and needles.
Honestly,
Where are you from?
God.
would have rathered that.
Guys, I don't take this lightly. I know a person who ate candy with a razor blade in it, cut her whole head off.
Whole head,
Whole head.
right off.
Was it like the king size
It was
Snickers?
disgusting.
She kept going. It was cutting her a little bit. She
Went
was
in
like,
the jugular, and then her entire head fell off.
That's
It was
it.
fucked up. It was a really hard thing to see for me.
I have heard of that.
You have, right?
R.I.P.
Did they
that chunker.
sew it back together?
No, she died.
Oh,
She
she
died.
just died.
Yeah.
It was sad. It was sad.
She
But anyway, I didn't mean to bring down the program. Gerard, do you have a joke maybe to pick this bag up again?
I never agreed to do this at the beginning of any show, and I don't
Well,
want
get
to. I don't
used
want
to
to
it, buddy.
encourage it.
Because this is when comedians go on like talk shows.
Oh my god.
That's exactly the way it goes.
It's
too,
just when
isn't it?
anybody would like, dude. This is why I refuse to let anybody introduce me as like my friend the comedian. I literally pull my boys aside. I was like, tell them I do anything else. Tell them I'm in janitorial service.
Because every time they go to you, they'll be like, "Oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke."
I
right?
don't think you're that funny. Tell me a joke.
Oh, they say I don't think you're that funny.
Yeah, this guy's funny. Yeah, they always like, it's always like they're the funny one. You could use that. You could use that.
Yeah, I'll give you that
You can
joke.
use
So we get either
Hey, when's your next fight?
that's the one.
Mhm.
When's your next fight? Or
As if they were coming.
Or they tell you
Let me
a
write it
fight
down.
story, one of their personal fight stories.
Have you ever had anybody?
one time I was outside this bar and dude, there's like 3 dudes and you know what I mean.
They
That's
jump right into that.
Yes,
Really?
they're like you yeah.
So
Always.
back when
Right?
I was, it's
Strout.
actually
Oh, definitely.
What do you
Yeah.
get? Do you get same shit?
No, I like who are we talking to?
Anybody, like a random
No, I
person, they
usually-
find out you're a
well,
fighter.
As far as random people, I don't think it ever. Well, I guess, yeah, they kind of throw stories in. But for some reason, I seem to draw people that have interesting personalities. Like the other day, I took the beautiful tri-rail here in
It's the grape van.
in where are we? Florida.
Well,
Florida.
you
I took
hang
the
out with the homeless.
Well, I was.
you like to go do
Stuff.
artwork and hang
I
out
do
with the
stuff.
homeless.
Yeah, well, I'm in some strange areas, but I'm getting on the tri-rail, and this guy stops me and he starts like giving me a bit like he's a comedian. He's like, "Oh, I do this for a living. I make fun of people." I'm like, "All right." So I kind of stopped on my bike, sat down. I'm like, I want to see where this goes. I want to see how this guy carries it. And he starts making fun of my braids and Willie Nelson, and he says something else. I'm like, "All right," and it's not really good. And then this lady walks by and he tells her she looks like Raquel Welch, and he's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, she does." And then she scurries off, and then he keeps trying to like make jokes, but they were terrible. But
All very contemporary references.
and he's all
I
like,
have no clue who
but
Raquel Welch is.
he's being like loud
Babe
about
from
it.
the 70s.
And there's a guy on the bench with like his, items. I think he just lives on the bench, and he's arguing with the guy making the joke. So now Raquel Welch walked away. These two guys are arguing. I'm just fully entertained until
So
the tri-rail
there's a
shows up.
homeless guy roasting passersby, and
No.
he has...
I do believe he has a home. He just had a very large bike with a lot of items on it. But the homeless guy was mad that the guy was roasting people on the platform.
He's got a
didn't-
heckler.
He didn't think his jokes were funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was all very entertaining.
We got standards on my platform.
You see John Jones was just heckling a comedian?
I did not.
You guys didn't see that shit?
I got to tell you, though,
Pull that shit up.
That would concern me as a comedian.
Well, here's the thing, and that's the other thing. Like, so for your shows, there's always like some of the MMA guys there.
Sure. I'm great with crowd
now,
work specifically because I've never felt threatened in my life if shit goes left. If John Jones was in the audience, I probably would just stick to my material.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, so,
hey, you suck. Thank you, sir.
So a few people, especially like like the heavyweights and stuff, so the comedian will see they're big, and like at your show, like none of the comedians were gonna like actually like go at anyone there. You know what I mean? That was
because they didn't speak English.
Right. Christos brought all the Italians that were visiting. But anyway, when it goes like that, you got to be less
no, I'm sorry. It was just
less combative.
There's a sword on the floor.
Oh
yeah, we did
ADD
a Rome episode.
Yeah, we did a Rome episode.
Would you like it? Would you like to hold it?
Maybe in a little bit, not yet. But I'm just gonna stare at it for a while and think about it, and
all right,
maybe it'll appear in my hands at some point.
Well, what was the story I was telling?
Oh,
Chris,
sorry.
He's thinking about
get on stage.
Swords.
So John Jones thing.
Yes.
This guy was like just kind of like he was like, so did you do a lot of drinking tonight?
Yeah.
Kind of, but he wouldn't. He wasn't gonna go there because they're gonna smack the shit out of him. I was talking to Darian. Is Darian Abbey at the gym? Big heavyweight with the red beard.
Yeah.
That's his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
The boy D. He did a post of you.
That guy.
Yeah, I would call him Big D, and then people
He
were
was
like,
there?
don't
That's
do
a
that.
little gay.
He was
Don't
at
do
the
that.
comedy show?
He was supposed to
No,
go,
no,
but he
yeah.
was next. He was at Fat Cats next door. But he put up a picture of him, and he said one time he was getting like he was sat front row, and the guy like wouldn't really like the guy was kind of like being gay. Like he was kind of like hitting on him, if anything. Because I was like, yeah, it makes sense because they don't want to go and fuck with you. They're like, you can be like, see me outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
when
I
it's
think
you
gotta
I don't
do
think there's
it.
going to be a tougher comedian or, you know what I mean?
There's definitely not. I feel very comfortable saying this, especially now that Brendan Schaub is retired from comedy. There's not a tougher comedian on earth. I feel very confident in saying that. That said, though, like, if it's all in good fun, like, are you really expecting somebody to go full Will Smith? Like, you'd have to be a real asshole. I don't know if you saw what happened with David Lucas, right? Did you see that over the weekend with, I believe he was at,
I don't know what that is.
I believe he was either at Columbus or Cleveland Funny Bone, and he started doing George Floyd jokes. And he's a black comic.
Oh, I did see that.
And every
actually.
black guy in the room got up and like
They
left
didn't dig
out
it.
and made a whole thing about it. And he just kept doubling down and tripling down. And it was so funny because then the other guys were leaving and like they started trickling out. And he's like, "You're leaving too, bro?" But you were laughing. He's like, "Yeah, but that's my ride." He's like, "Oh, I get it. Like, so, like that shit. Look, man, if you've got actual hate in your heart, I feel like it's pretty easy for people to tell.
You can tell.
But this is some shit that's happened because of TikTok. This is some shit that's happened because of Matt Rife. This is some shit that's happened because of Will Smith. Like, people think they're a part of the show, and you're not. Like, even if the comedian interacts with you, you have a moment to talk, and then shut up, and then that's it, and it's over. Like, this is not.
Right,
You're
John
not
Jones,
a part
John
of the
Jones was being
show.
pretty annoying. He
Well,
was
look-
like trying to like give love, but he was being annoying.
Yeah, but look, if John Jones is like, to me, okay, like, you can whoop my ass, but we're gonna have a conversation first. You brought it up. So now let's hey, I know some things about John Jones. Maybe we can make some jokes.
The guy didn't recognize him. Hey, Christian, could you please get Jason that sword so we can come back to Earth over here?
Yeah.
I know he's not gonna.
So look, I'm very, very interested in
Crawl.
speaking with Jason and getting to know the inside scoop of a dude who's been at the highest levels of one of the most dangerous sports on earth for a very long time. But before we get into that, I do have to get some shit off my chest, if you'll allow me.
We'll indulge you.
If you'll indulge me.
Aw, look
Jason
at
has his
that.
sword now, so Jason, feel free to retort,
So you better tell
agree,
some-
disagree.
You better tell some good stories, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, as if you
the
need that.
fucking dagger.
I've seen him throw kicks. You don't need no.
I'll just
You don't need
place
no
this here in
cords.
case someone breaks in.
You don't need them S
Good.
words.
I gotta save you
Um,
guys.
Thank you.
So before I turn off half the audience, let me assure you.
Gerard, we're gonna get more shadow banned.
So let me assure you
Fuck.
that the best thing you can do.
Why did I ever agree to do a podcast with this guy? I did like a good image.
He did.
You know?
Yeah. Well, he was very bored.
Fucking.
He's been doing nothing for like 13 months, so he needed something.
Did you
to do.
paint this yourself?
No.
Oh,
No.
I see you missed a little.
No. That
You bought
that's
it
very
that way?
very expensive.
Yeah,
so
it
be
looks
careful.
like it.
Yeah, it's only the best here.
I mean, it's gold.
Yeah, that's real gold.
It looks like it.
Do you
Except
know-
for that.
Do you know what else is gold, Jason?
Oh, look Records
The products at the wellness company. You go to TWC.HEALTH if you want gold for your health.
Anybody want some num-nums?
You go to
want some nummy vitamins?
TWC.HEALth. If you go to
don't like healthy stuff.
TWC,
All right, Jason doesn't like healthy stuff. That's all right. We're not all the
TWC.HEALth
same.
Just swords.
/ Slick and Thick.
Here, G, eat one.
The wellness company, Jason, I don't know if you're aware, the wellness company
It's actually pretty cool.
is healthcare without the propaganda. This is a place dedicated to putting people over profits, healthcare over health profit. The wellness company is these are the best multivitamins on earth. This is your one-stop shop for everything that you need to be prepared for the unpreparable.
Yeah, you can get antibiotics. They'll send you antibiotics. They'll send you like ivermectin. They'll send you, what else they send you? But like Z-Packs.
Everything.
So you have it in a kit. So if shit goes down, then you can't like get to the doctor.
If you guys have,
These are some delicious multivitamins.
Jesse and Tommaso are here in the audience today. They've got kids. You guys absolutely have to get this. It's better to have it and not need it. What we've learned from the last 2-3 years is you never know what's coming next, and this can get you prepared. Christian, go ahead and read what's in there for the good people in that
guys,
kit.
if you hate your family, don't get a kit. If you love your family, go get one of these kits.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah,
Tell the good people what's in there.
Amoxicillin. We got. I can't do this one, Jay. I need help. Azithromycin.
Azithromycin.
Doxycycline.
That's
we
a
got,
Z-Pack.
Mm-hmm.
We got a Z-Pack. We got trimethoprim.
Uh-huh.
Can't read the rest of that.
Sure.
Why'd you get this retard to do the
ivermectin.
reading?
Ivermectin.
Yep.
Oh, Christian's a gay retard.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. This could be fun.
Yeah.
That reminds me of New York.
Yeah. Which is why Christian needs this, because the antibiotics and the penicillin.
Yeah, they just don't.
They
cut it
also,
anymore
Christian,
for him.
they have telehealth, right? That'll help you get rid of the herp and anything else you may encounter.
Hey.
So if you go to TWC.HEALth / Slick and Thick, you're going to save 10% off of your first order. 10% off your first order. Tell them Slick and Thick sent you. Be prepared for the unpreparable. Healthcare without the propaganda. The wellness company.
So I think allegedly Christian actually does like girls, and I think we're gonna do like a dating show with him. I think we'll call it Christian Mingle, or we'll come up with a better name.
First, we came up with it. First.
You know what I mean?
First, we call it Dibs.
Do you have any ideas like how we can
like
get this dude?
Do you remember? Oh, you guys aren't that old. The dating game.
Gerard is.
Where they had the wall and the three people.
Yeah, it was called Singled Out for my generation. Yeah, Singled Out on MTV.
Wait, was that
Did
like
you not have
there was
Singled
a
Out?
wall?
Aren't we the same age? Huh?
Well, it's like you can't see them.
Yeah.
And like the one person like.
You ask
"What
a
would you
question.
Oh yeah, they used to
what
have
would
a
be
game
the perfect
show.
date? And then there's one guy would answer, be like, I would take you on a walk on the beach and a dinner, and then I would take you to my van.
Yeah.
And then the other guy would like say another thing. And
In that order.
yeah, I mean, usually.
Oh, that's fine.
Touch my sword.
What would be your perfect date, Jason?
My perfect date
Yes.
for me?
What would be your perfect date?
Oh man,
First with a woman.
you just assume.
First with a woman.
I don't know, perfect date.
You know, it
Hey,
is
wait, hold
hard.
on, hold on. You ever seen the movie Rad,
No.
where they do the bicycle scene at the
Pull
the
up
school
Rad,
dance?
the bicycle scene.
With the song "Send Me an Angel."
Not from YouTube, Christian.
Yeah, not from YouTube.
That would
YouTube's
be.
being kinda
That's
quality.
always like the perfect. Like in my head is like if I could find a girl that could do like freestyle BMX tricks with me.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, I still like carries on till today. Like that was like as a kid, I loved it.
I have a perfect girl for you. She was a BMX and motocross rider. She was tattooed from head to toe. Unbelievable body. Platinum blonde. She had cold chillin' tattooed on her chest. And
That's
I
kinda
thought she
tight.
gave me AIDS.
Oh.
So, but she didn't.
Well, thank God.
So
I
that's
got,
the good thing. The wellness
Yeah,
company, exactly.
Wellness
Smelt-
company.
and that's
Don't
you know
worry
what?
about no AIDS.
There we go. Yeah, the whole time I was with her in LA,
What
was
is
like
AIDS anymore?
this was like 10 years ago, maybe more. The whole time I was with her, she was just bragging about everybody in LA that she had been with and kept
That's the
talking
scene?
about Charlie Sheen.
Oh yeah.
That's your scene right
That's
there?
it. That's it.
Pull that up.
That's it.
So this is like Footloose with bicycles?
I mean, it wasn't banned. It was. I mean, it's a
All right,
great.
get it off. Get it off the screen.
If you've seen the, you got to watch the movie.
Get it
Rad.
off. Now put it back. Now put it back. Now put it back.
You told me that don't work.
That was like Friday, Saturday night. You go to the video
Now get it off.
store.
Now get it off.
You get Rad. You get Gleaming the Cube. If you could find Thrashing, that'd be great. And that was like, and then you stay up late and watch movies and then go out and do things.
Where'd you grow up, man? Southern California guy?
No, man, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Milwaukee.
No shit.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's fucking roughneck. People don't understand. Are you actually from Milwaukee proper or like from outside?
Well, I was born in Milwaukee. Then my parents thought it'd be a good idea to move outside to keep me out of trouble.
Yeah. How'd that go?
And then I ended up back in Milwaukee, and then I moved to New York in like 2004, and I was there till like 2018, 2019.
You
Oh, wow.
never drank or drugged?
No,
Never.
no.
You've been like, you were like on that straight edge shit since you were young?
Yeah.
Dagestani.
Yeah.
Have
And
you, yeah, never drank, never
I,
gone to it? Or
I,
like,
my dad like gave me a sip of beer, but I was like, I don't know, there's no point in it.
as like a kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, you know, like kids get
When
beer.
did you
So
get
you got
into
in
that?
all the trouble
When'd you-
sober, huh?
Yeah. I had no excuses. Couldn't blame it on anything. Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, I don't think I got in that much trouble.
Jason, we're gonna send you to rehab, straighten you out. For what?
Yeah.
You mean you didn't? You were not. You were sober when you did this? Yeah,
Whole
yeah,
time. I wanted to be lucid.
yeah.
It's like you were
Enjoy
the
it. You
Joker.
enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what type of dirt were you getting into, man?
You know, like I don't know, typical kid shit. I guess you know.
Got a feeling what I consider typical kid shit, and what you're about to tell me is typical kid shit is
I mean, I don't. I mean, I didn't.
large variance.
I didn't do that many bad things.
Oh no.
No, just leave it at that.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not
I mean, I feel like the statute of limitations expired. But
we don't
you
know.
Whatever. We don't know. We got Chuck coming on tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
And you know Chuck, he's a boxing coach.
Oh,
older
Chuck,
guy.
yeah.
He's gonna
Oh.
tell some OG
I
gangster
bet you
stories
he's gonna
and
tell
stuff.
some stories. I like
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah, I
Chuck's
like
a good
Chuck,
dude,
too.
man.
Yeah. So you were on the streets doing normal kid dirt,
Yeah.
Normal
know,
kid dirt. You know what I mean? Playing
doing-
in dirt,
you know,
fucking Tonka trucks.
egging houses,
Yeah, the usual.
doing the graffitis.
I got fucked up one time for egging houses. Did I ever tell you that?
Yes. Tell the
No,
story though. I'm sure Jason does.
So me and my friends, there's these like people in like our town that like no one really liked because they were kind of just twats.
And they don't like eggs.
Bunch
Well,
of vegans.
we're so anyway. It starts out, you know, it starts out. You just throwing a couple
Eat,
eggs.
get your protein, vegan bastards.
So then I don't know, just the egg throwing just didn't really satisfy. So I decided to pick up the mailbox and throw it in the woods. Which is, you know, it's a shitty thing to do.
Yes.
I was wrong. I was an asshole. But like, yeah, just wasn't satisfied by it. So I picked the mailbox, threw it in the woods. Turns out that's a federal offense.
Yeah, you can't mess with mailboxes.
Can't do that. So then me and my friends, we walked down to McDonald's and we're just like hanging out down there. And the cops came and like get us. Someone said like saw us go. We were stupid.
Yeah.
Cops throw us in the car. They're like trying to scare us and shit. We get back to the house and they're like, "Yeah, it was them." Blah blah blah. We're like, and then they call my dad, and my dad comes down. Right? He's these cops are talking about juvie and all this shit. My dad comes down, swats my one friend in the head, swats my other friend in the head, boom, punches me in the chest like we're all against the cop car, like getting fucked up. Cop's like, "Yeah, you got it. Let us go."
Yeah. No fucking cams back then. You know.
Nah,
what I
it was,
mean? Yeah.
nah, it was no cams.
No
and
cams.
They were like, "Yeah, you go here." Because I remember driving home with him. I was like stuck to the doors, waiting to get my ass beat the whole time.
Turns out Mischief Night was really like a Jersey, New York thing. It's not like a universal thing, man. Like people
Do you
don't
have
do
Mischief
that.
Night?
What, like every night?
Was
Was it a special night for it? What do you mean? Is it?
Mischief Light?
Mischief Night was
Like
the night
before
before
Halloween?
Halloween.
Yeah.
on the 30th, everyone goes out and like fucks up the
Like
town.
Hell Night.
yeah.
They had
yeah.
that in Detroit, right? The Hell Night or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
if you're,
Called it Hell
you know,
Night.
maybe a toilet paper trees, and that's more of like a nicer way of doing
Burn a
something.
dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Bar.
Toilet
commit
paper
a homicide,
trees.
like whatever. you know what I
Everybody
mean?
was
There's
like,
levels.
you know, environmentalists just losing their shit. You know, but we did the egg in the houses, and
I
then
knew
we started
people who had
paintballing houses.
built
and
some
yeah,
bombs.
it got
Yeah.
bad.
Back in the days, you could get the works.
The works with the tinfoil, shake that shit up.
I used to have them
I was
stashed all over
scared.
town.
Really?
Yeah, so like I had the
Normal kid
tinfoil.
shit.
I'd have them stashed under like trees and stuff.
Domestic
Because
terrorism.
you can't have them at your
Normal kid
house,
shit.
you know. And then you take them, and then you want to go like put them under a car or something.
Oh,
know,
You
like,
went
yeah, yeah.
so your normal kid shit was going on a jihad against Milwaukee. You put
Against greater
IEDs all over the greater Milwaukee area.
I mean, they're cool. They blow
Christian,
up.
cut that part out.
It's a science
Normal
experiment.
kid shit.
It's a science experiment.
You know, I just put it in the gas tank
Wait,
of my
so what
ex-girlfriend's
happened? What
father's
happened?
car.
So there's this stuff called the works. It's
Yeah,
like
it was
a
a
cleaning
toilet.
supply?
It was a toilet bowl or like like you clean the drain when it's plugged kind of thing. And there was something in there that reacted with the tinfoil, and it just pretty much built the gas. You could do it with like dry ice too, and other things that build gas. And you
yeah, no, let's just go for every
So,
flag
put it-
we
put
could
it-
possibly get on this video.
Yeah.
but I mean,
Step by step.
it's
Ooh,
a it's a
baby.
terrible idea. I wouldn't do it nowadays.
Yeah.
But,
I was scared of it then. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
I
like-
was like I'm not fucking with
because
that
the
anymore.
bottle would start to like it would like you could see it like like
Start to
decay.
expand,
Yeah, it'll
right?
start
Yeah.
like getting all deformed,
Yeah.
and then boom, and that weird gas and
So
stuff
you shake
flies
it
out
up,
of it.
you shake it up, you toss it,
Yeah.
and then you start walking away, and then all of a sudden you're like,
Boom.
boom, and you're like, fuck, like you flinch big. Oh, bro.
And
it's
if you
scary.
put it
then
in
the cops come, and then
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah. If you
Yep.
put it in a glass bottle, it's like better.
Oh
run.
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
we never did that. Yeah, that's a
with-
little
with-
shrapnel.
Yeah, with
and
thumbtacks
and
in it.
Yeah, hot glue, BBs and stuff on the outside of it.
I think our
Well,
yeah,
we're
our-
on
our
every
IRA
list. We're on all the lists.
I've just seen
Our
that.
IRA
I've seen
great
it. I've never-
grandfathers all did
Oh
that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the worst that we did, and as an adult looking back on this now, the guy was like super generous by not killing us. Is on Halloween, we would knock on the doors, and then people would open the doors as good Samaritans and be like trick or treat and have candy, and whoever knocked on the door would get out of the way, and then we'd pelt them with eggs from the street.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you know,
Dickhead move.
fuck
That's
you
so
for doing
bad.
nice things for kids on
Yeah.
Halloween.
How old were you guys?
That'll teach you for being a good community member.
How old were you?
Well, I have to be honest.
You were 31.
I never really
Last weekend. Last weekend, I got a
Normal-
discount on eggs.
normal kid shit. I don't, so I didn't really feel great about it, but I also wasn't. I was a little bit too like pussy to say anything about it. I was like a freshman hanging out with my varsity football
Right,
friends.
right.
Like, of course I'm gonna go along with this, but the whole time I'm like, nah, this is kind of fucked up,
Yeah.
But I'm not a bitch, so of course I'm gonna go along with it.
Right, you're a follower.
At that time, 100%,
Yeah.
right? It was very important, like, that these guys thought I was tough, right? And we do it, and a lady opens the door, and we chuck the eggs. Thank God they miss her and her pregnant belly, and the guy comes fucking out with a bat with nails in it, the whole nine,
Oof,
looking for everybody, the whole neighborhood, and he found us, and a few of us were athletic enough to hop the fence and get away. And one of us wasn't.
Ooh.
And he beat this kid to within an inch of his fucking life. He beat this kid almost to death.
Probably right.
And
Probably the right move.
honestly, in retrospect, I'm happy that sated his bloodlust because the rest of us deserved it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Country place in Old Bridge, New Jersey. This guy had probably just moved from Staten Island.
Yeah.
And welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And his pregnant wife is trying to give candy to the kids, and she's getting pelted with eggs from these guys. And this guy
Fucking
said,
A.
okay.
Price
You-
you pay, right?
You remember getting chased by adults as a kid, doing little,
Oh,
little
yeah.
bad things?
But that
we,
was-
we played Ding Dong Ditch. And I remember getting full on sprinted at
Yeah.
by like this like old Indian dude, just like
But I will
coming down
say,
the road.
the
What a thrill.
fuck around to find out ratio was appropriate back then. They'd smack you up if you did some stupid shit, and they'd
Yeah.
smack you up sometimes
And
if you didn't.
and
do
you
some
kind of
shit.
like you knew that's what happens if you got caught, right?
Right.
You knew
That's
you
why
were
you
gonna,
run like
yeah.
hell.
And then-
No.
And even like the cops that they catch you,
Yeah.
like I knew what would happen. Like I just shut my mouth. Like
and
I,
you could ascertain.
I ain't trying to get worked over more than I needed to. You know what I mean? Like I
It
knew I was
was-
being a.
It was.
I
a
think it's
good
better
way
that way.
to
Beat their ass and send
it
them
was a
home rather
good
than
way to
like,
run
book them
things.
and do all that bullshit.
It was a good way to run things. These guys want to test the limits. Good for them. Sow their oats, but also they need to know where the lines
Fuck
are.
around and find
They
out.
need to know where the lines
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And now, it just never happens. And these things escalate.
Yeah, I mean, look at it now.
escalate.
People are beating the shit out of New York City cops.
Beating the shit out.
Walking out of the fucking prison.
Well,
with
those
their-
are-
in the courthouse.
That's a
with
whole different thing. Those people shouldn't be here right now, unfortunately. So I mean, that's we're paying for those people to do that, which is a whole different
That's fucking
ball of
wild.
wax.
Who's the little guy
What little guy?
with the head?
Oh, this handsome guy.
Yeah.
Tell me who that is.
Oh, you got your own head.
Yeah, that's Mickey Gall back when the
Did
UFC
you
had
add-
USADA.
You mean when I was a 23-year-old boy?
Bro, I saw the picture that what's his name posted of you guys today. You got to pull this up. It's on Mickey's Instagram, and I was like, "What in the McGregor Roadhouse? What kind of angle are they fucking? This dude's got the
me
pump
looking,
going.
Me looking big?
This
I'm
dude's
looking
got
big,
the
bro.
pump going.
Yeah.
You got to see this shit. Go,
My
you got to go to
story.
Mickey.
You
You got
gotta
to go
go
to
to my
Mickey's IG. Go to
story.
Mickey's IG and then go to his story. Go to his story.
That
Click
is my
that.
IG.
Click his profile. Yeah. Pull it up.
The first one.
Is it gone already? It might be gone. There
Nah,
it is.
there
There
it
it is.
is.
Pull that shit up.
Pull that shit up and zoom in on it.
Pull that shit.
Dang.
Holy shit, son.
You can't be implying I'm taking shit.
Of course I'm not implying.
You just said Mickey
I'm
before
accusing.
USADA. You're accusing me. You spend a lot of time with me, G. You would know. That's hard work.
That's what I was
That's
like.
training that fucking bar with.
I was about to post this shit and be like, damn, this AI Photoshop is getting real good. I was like, damn, they put you on Chimaev's Bobby, huh? Fuck. Did you put that shit up? Put it up again.
He
What is
started-
it up there
he
for
got a
like 1
boner, so
second?
he took it
Is that
away.
what it is?
Yeah.
Bro,
And all the shirtless guys. Christian loves
what is
it.
everybody next to you 125? How is that a 170-pound frame?
That's the guy next to me is an 85er, and he's fucking ripped up.
Yeah. AJ's aesthetic. That's an aesthetic body.
He counts his calories out of camp.
Does he really?
Yeah, crazy.
Nah, he's aesthetic.
What does that mean?
He's got like.
You love his body?
I love his body.
I don't know what that
Big
means.
fan of his body. AJ, love your body. Yeah. Counts his calories out of camp. Is that something most guys don't do?
Nah.
No.
Nah, but he like always tracks like his macros and all that. I did that for one camp. I took like every food I ate, everything I ate, drank, whatever. I kept tabs of it. It's too much.
I did that for one day. Fuck that.
Here, I don't believe it.
Yeah, I did not do it. I think I did it for one meal, and I was like, this is a lot of work. This is
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
crazy.
You didn't watch the Super Bowl? What were you out there doing? Playing with the homeless guys or
When was
riding
it?
bikes?
Yesterday?
It was
Sunday.
Yeah. It's
Today's-
like the biggest
When
sports thing.
was it? Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Super Bowl
It's
Sunday.
usually what day it falls on.
Yeah.
The big game. The Super
Did
Bowl.
you play any other sports before you got into fighting?
I'm trying to think what I did Sunday. Oh, I was in. Went to Miami.
Oh, nice.
That's the day I took the tri-rail and met those gentlemen.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
What were you doing down in Miami? Anything fun?
Exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything Latina related?
That's why I say Jason's
I
a
had
national
some,
treasure. He's just always
I had
made
some.
a good time.
I had some
It's a
good,
good time all the
Persian
time.
food. I had some like kebabs and rice,
Really?
and I watched the dude skate for a little bit.
He likes our Sportiva too.
What's up?
Sportiva guy. His only vice is caffeine.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sportiva
and
does
and
a
hitting
great
people
job.
in the head.
And I didn't even. I didn't drink coffee until like 4 or 5 years ago.
Is that right?
We were in
Oh, shit.
Cambodia, and they brought like an espresso over to my friend. He's like, "Oh, I don't drink this," and I was like, "Well, you can't be rude," so I drank it, and I was like,
Woo! Woo!
I like this. It made me feel like awake, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank God you didn't do drugs.
I did Red Bull for a while.
Did you?
And that's pretty much drugs, right?
Dried it out and snorted it?
Dude, you'd have one, and then you get like tired and cranky, and you're like, "Oh, I need another one." And
Yeah.
you feel good.
Back
and
to
Yeah,
normal.
it was just like up and down. It was like,
the heavy crash. Everybody's now like just fired up on
but
taurine.
we would have it before it was in the can. It was in the bottles. You go to the weird Thai store,
what?
and you get it, and it was like, man, then you.
Well, you lived in Thailand. They got some crazy shit out there that's not even like legal here, right? Like, I remember Dorian telling me about it. Dorian
Yeah, I guess.
Price.
I don't know.
They had like some crazy like amount of. It'd be like 800 milligrams of caffeine, like something stupid
Yeah, we.
out there.
Yeah.
You train now.
Yeah,
Yeah, make
exactly.
you.
I'm
but-
tired.
But
you train now.
you drink it, but then you get jittery. You like you spar,
Yeah,
and you
because
like
your heart's about to explode.
flinch at everything, you
Yeah.
know. But no, you felt good, you know.
And the shocking thing is, when you have high blood pressure, you're actually more tired. You would think high blood pressure would like get you like it actually slows you down. You're really tired with high blood pressure. So it's like that stuff over time has a real negative effect. It's the
I'm
opposite.
sorry
of what
for
you're
this
looking
burden you have.
for. Yeah. Not enough people
I
know
respect your.
that high
your
blood
struggle.
pressure is a bad thing
Makes
for people. All right, it's not ideal for anybody.
Guys, breaking news: Gerard has high blood pressure.
Breaking news. Oh
And
man, you want to talk? My blood pressure watching the Super Bowl was through the fucking.
Who did you
roof.
like in that altercation?
I don't watch television with commercials anymore.
But I thought
I
that's
just
the
never
whole.
do.
Isn't that the whole reason to watch this
Yeah,
thing?
so like I still
No,
have
it's
this.
about the game for most masculine men, Jason.
Yes,
But
but now, but to your point, they've
Bro,
made
football,
it about
football's a-
everything
time
but
out.
the game.
I'm gonna let you get into that. But football is a great game. It's a war game. You
Oh,
got your
no,
big
no.
fuckers lined up front. They're doing battle. Quarterback's got.
What do you know about battle,
No,
Jason?
I mean, I grew up watching the Packers. I mean,
when they were
You
good,
don't. You
too.
don't fuck with it. You
They
don't
don't
like
they've
it.
been
I'll
good
still
forever.
watch it. My dad will call me, be like, "You watching the game?" And I'm like, "I'll put it on," you know. But
You're like,
I can't
nah, I'm
sit.
chasing this
I
homeless
can't
guy on
sit
my
still
bike.
anymore. Like,
Yeah.
you think like older you get, you be able to sit down, but I'm like, I can't sit. Like, if I'm trying to watch a TV and it's like
For
maybe
3
2 or 3 hours, I'm like,
Yeah.
I could be out like finding things to do.
Well, that's the thing, dude.
Yeah.
This Super
You know?
Bowl was over 4 hours.
yeah, that's
long,
a lot,
bro.
It's like an
This
airplane
was,
ride. To, like,
This was, yeah, dude.
somewhere.
Like this was rough. This
Over
was
4 hours is-
brutal. And because of the Jesus commercials, it felt like 9.5 hours.
I only saw the one Jesus commercial.
They did them 9 times. I felt
like the Jesus commercial.
And then they did the anti-Semitism. I was not an anti-Semite until those anti-Semitism commercials. Now I'm like, fucking, oh my God! Now you're getting your neighbor to do free work for you now. What the fuck?
Yeah, you
I mean, come on.
G sent me earlier. We won't play that.
I don't. What? No, I'm not anti-Semitic. It's a joke.
He's a little Semitic though.
No, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not pro-Semitic. Let's just say Semitic. I'm just Semitic. All right, and, you know. Anyway,
so what was your beef with the Super Bowl commercials,
bro? I don't even know where to start. The issue becomes, all right, it starts with the whole game, everything from the beginning of the game. This was something. And again, like I back in my day, I hate that shit. But this is something that when I was a kid was like a unifying thing. Everybody would get together. You go to your aunt's or your uncle's house. There'd be a big party, and then there'd be these funny
Shout
commercials.
Shout out to Moss's house.
Yeah. It was the only game of the year where the women would watch, and it was like a party, and it was a get-together, man. And there would be these funny-ass commercials that they would reveal, right? And it would be like, Bud Weiser. It would be these funny frogs, and it would be the hot GoDaddy girl, and it would be like, now, like, the entire thing felt like a 4-hour fucking lecture. It was a 4-hour lecture. First, we got the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, where these great athletes, all we have to hear is about the horrible shit they had to overcome every day and all this horrible shit.
I like the Man of the Year award.
Everybody
I
has to
respect the shit out of that. Whoever gets the Man of the Year, that means they did so much fucking charitable good shit.
Okay.
Wait, who gets a what?
They get
the Walter
Payton
Payton Man of the Year.
So it's like a football player who does stuff outside.
Oh,
yeah.
Walter Payton. There we go.
He was a bear, but he's still one of the baddest.
Oh, that dude.
He was something.
And that's back when you could hit people, man. It's like everything about the game from beginning to end is just a reminder of kind of what I talked about the other day, where like the whole thing with like Taylor Swift and everybody's like, you guys just want to gatekeep. And it's like, well, you know what? Yeah, we do want to gatekeep, because every time we let you folks into our spaces, as you like to say, you fucking ruin them. You ruin them. All right? You don't come in to our house. We invite you into our party, all right? And say, yeah, be a part of this football thing. Be a part of this football culture. But instead of you assimilating to our culture, we're always fucking changing for yours. We're always changing to suit your needs. We're always changing. We're going to get rid of the hitting in football. It's too violent. We need longer halftime. Look at how they're dancing. Look at all the roller skates. It's 45 fucking minutes of a concert, R&B. That's what football is about. No, fucking the whole first half. Nobody could get a rhythm going because these motherfuckers spent an hour.
They did 6 national anthems.
6 national anthems. We did. All of a sudden, we got a black national anthem. We got a non-binary national anthem. They're doing the fucking. Have you ever met a deaf guy? I've met like one deaf guy in my life. Who's watching the NFL if you're fucking deaf? There's better shit for you to do with your time. I just don't understand.
Like what? I mean, you're watching. You're using your eyes.
Well, that's they're deaf, right? So they're here, right? And it's like fucking. There's better shit to do. It's better shit to do. Like, that fucking drives me out of my... Dude,
and that's why I didn't watch it.
It drives me out of my mind, Jason. And I sit here and I get accused of being a racist and all this other shit.
He watched the game and he's still upset about it.
I'm upset.
I didn't watch the game. I had a great week so far.
I've been upset for 48 hours. And it's honestly getting to that point where I'm like, I don't know if I can watch the game again. Can you imagine if I watched the Grammys or the Oscars? The constant, every fucking commercial. I don't watch TV with commercials anymore. Every commercial. One out of every 10
I don't even know how to watch TV anymore.
The 1 out of every 10 that even have a white guy in them, the white guy is always a fucking putz. He's always the asshole. He's always the clown. He's fucking, if he's in it, he's gay or he's an asshole. That's it. And I'm sitting here going, my fucking God, I'm never buying Dunkin' Donuts ever again. Like, well, you just spent $7 million on a commercial?
Whoa.
I hate Jesus
the one
now.
with
you're
talking about the one with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Tom Brady?
Yep, absolutely.
Why do you
and
hate
it's everybody's favorite one.
I kind of liked it. Why do you hate it?
I'll tell you.
I was like, oh, look, there's Tom Brady playing the drums.
In a vacuum, it's fine and it's funny.
Why is he playing the drums at a donut shop?
It's not a donut shop. It was with Jennifer Lopez and someone else. They were like recording
Fat Joe.
A video.
Yeah. So they go into
Fat
the
Joe was there?
they go into the recording
Was
studio.
he eating donuts?
Star power.
It was not. That's
I
another
actually,
thing.
I actually saw Fat Joe painting something in Miami in the spot I was at when you were watching the Super Bowl.
Pretty
I was watching
sure
that.
Fat Joe was selling narcotics. I don't think Fat Joe paints. Does
Oh,
Fat
yeah,
Joe
yeah.
paint?
Yeah, he writes.
Pat Joe.
Yeah, he
Does
does.
Pat Joe?
Pat Joe. He
Does
does.
Tom Pajot? Huh?
He does. Yeah.
Can you imagine getting your ass whooped by Jason Strout and then like he just leaves the octagon and goes and like hangs out with the people outside the stadium like panhandling? You're like, what the fuck
Yo,
just happened?
Vegas.
Just playing
What
a
just
flute
hap-
with
yeah.
the guys.
What
yeah.
just happened?
Me and my boys are jamming.
What just happened?
There's some interesting people in Vegas. Let me tell you.
Oh, you don't care. You don't
If you
gotta tell
walk
me.
the I like to go walk the tracks when I'm there.
Who doesn't?
I mean, it's like nothing. I mean, it kind of just puts things in perspective. You're like,
sure it does.
oh man, you're like,
Because that's what people go to Vegas for, perspective. That's why I go to Vegas.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of interesting things out there. But, you know, maybe if you go take a walk instead of watching the Super Bowl.
What is
I
this,
don't
a
know.
fucking fat joke?
No, I mean, it could go that way. I don't know.
Hey, you know, if
I'm not
it-
got a sword, so
Yeah, maybe
luck
there's a
piercing
lot of
him
there's a lot of
deep enough.
interesting shit out there if you do cardio. Yeah, the
or not. I mean, you don't have to do
Bro, it
cardio.
just-
It's not like
just-
saying you have to run through the neighborhood.
No,
Just-
get you a moped.
just
get one of the
Immediately breaks.
Get,
I
one,
mean,
get one of those Walmart
Yeah,
scooters through the
that's what
neighborhood.
I didn't know what to call
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Look at the glory of nature.
I mean,
Oh,
I just-
wow.
But from the time you watched this game with all this depressing things, like I saw a lot of interesting things on Sunday.
Bro, I'm right there with you. It
just get on the tri-rail, man.
Yeah, but
That's-
you know what though? Fucking ignoring reality doesn't change reality, Jason. Like, you know, it's this idea of these politics and government are always downwind of culture, right? And what we see and what we allow. So, like, the idea of it, there was a very, very, very clear theme to the entire Super Bowl, and I will admit, I've been in entertainment for a long time. I cut my teeth in entertainment in commercials, so I know that every single inch of every single set is planned.
Sure.
There's no messaging whatsoever that is not highly considered and tested. Okay?
Yeah, you're watching it right now.
Everything, right?
This is a script. I
So
gave Jason a script before. He's never
Gee,
actually met a homeless guy.
If
He
you
thinks they're
gave me,
gross.
you think I can remember a script?
Yeah. But
I
this
try.
is also why I think podcasts are becoming so ridiculously popular, is because this is the only place where you can get real, authentic, unscripted conversation anymore. We don't have there's no agenda here. You know, we don't have any agenda through this conversation. We want to get to know you. We want to bullshit about our day. We're not looking to push anything down anybody's throat. There's no worldview we're looking
So
to
what
sell
did you
There's
feel
no
was the
overload.
message that was being pushed at the Super Bowl?
It's very, very clear that the message was women are smart, men are stupid. White men in particular are hapless putzes. And women and people of color literally sat in judgment the whole time. Okay? Like, you talk about the Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Here you have Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in a vacuum. If it was just a commercial and you didn't know that the same three agencies did 99% of those commercials. If you didn't know that, then you just be like, oh, look, it's a fun commercial. You know, Ben Affleck's taking the piss out of himself, showing a little humility.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, it's
That's
funny.
the way I took it.
You know, celebrities having a good time. You know, the girlfriend is ashamed. You know, pretty. But then take a step back, look at it from 10,000 feet. What do we have? We've got Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, two of the most masculine white actors out there, right? The Town, Jason Bourne. You put them in a fucking gay outfit, have them act like fucking clowns, all right? They act like assholes to try to impress the woman and her minority friends who are literally sitting in judgment, actually sitting behind the booth in judgment. And they're like, I told you not to do this. Man, like, okay, like you needed their permission. All these things are fucking stratified. All these things are made on purpose. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the very symbol of white masculinity, is sitting there. The very symbol of it is sitting there. Now, I understand how this sounds when I explain it. I sound like David Duke, a fucking white supremacist. I'm fucking not. If anything, but the truth of the matter is, between the black national anthem, the white guy always being the asshole, and all these commercials, I think there's something deeper at play here. Favoritism over time breeds contempt. There's nobody that watches this and watches this favoritism and watches somebody else get something over and over and over, sees this shit all right, sees their heroes act like assholes, and then looks at the fucking news and sees that Chicago gave $18 million of fucking relief to non-white businesses, so I guess the white businesses go fuck themselves, right? And you sit there and you look at what's happening in New York, $53 million to illegal immigrants, people that grew up there their whole life. Go fuck yourself. Pay your $3,000 fucking rent and shut up about it. And you sit here and you look at all this shit, and there's just no way it doesn't breed contempt. There's just no
Isn't
way.
it so division to have us worrying about, you know, like they act like people are more racist now than they were. Like,
That's
I feel like
what I believe. And more so, like, by bringing this shit up, people were like, oh, shit, I didn't know you were racist. I'm fucking not. But this is the reality of the situation. Like, let me tell you the last thing, and then we'll get off of it. That Jesus commercial where the white people are
everyone's washing
the feet. The white people wash the feet of the black trans person, wash the feet of the homeless person, wash the feet of the person outside the abortion clinic. Now, everybody sees that, and now everybody on the right or whoever, white guys, are getting angry because they're like, why does the white guy got to be on the fucking knees? You're not seeing it correctly. You have to think of how racist these fucking lefties are, that they think they're better than these people. That's why they think it's important for them to humble themselves and get on their knees. Look at how I'm humbling myself before the trans. Look at how I'm humbling myself
like Jason does
before the
talking
blacks.
to the homeless.
Precisely. I'm better than you, so let me talk to you. Exactly. So
Strout just wants to be in the club.
But do you understand what I'm saying? There's a subliminal, like, savior complex. And there's a subliminal fucking real, like, the bigotry of low expectations. Like, oh, you're a black guy. You need my help. You need my help. No, they fucking don't. These are fucking men. They can handle their own business. They're fine. We grew up in areas. We grew up
I
on
wouldn't
fucking
stroke your
teams.
bottle like that anymore. Christian's going to have a boner again. Sorry. Keep going.
No, that's all good. So, that's it.
I'm sweating over here.
Talk about blood pressure, huh?
Mm-hmm. So, anyway. The
So you're Gerard. What I don't totally understand your point. You're saying that they're trying to sow more division.
I do think,
And
I
you said
don't
that
blame.
they're actually being racist by trying to act like
There's no
humble.
doubt about it, and I don't blame anybody for accepting special treatment. I don't blame any black guy for accepting special treatment. You want to do the fucking Irish national anthem? I would feel awkward. I'm like, okay, well, I don't need a fucking Irish national anthem. I don't need an Irish fucking history month. I'm very proud of my fucking history. I don't want to turn on Netflix every time and be like, Irish voices. No, I don't fucking what? No.
So you're saying it's like you find it insulting?
It's called the bigotry of low expectations. It's the same shit the girl I dated in Brooklyn when she was always talking about, we got to save these people. We got to help these people. And I'm like, bitch, you live with 5 other people. You're 30 fucking years old. You live with 5 other people. Somebody needs to save you. You're the poor. Who are we marching for? We should be marching for you. But it made her feel better that somebody else needs her, because then she feels like she's above people. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the same shit that they did. Like, oh, let me get on my knees and I'll show these people that you're a human just like me. Well, that means that who you thought you were.
I hate when people go and like they record themselves giving like money to the homeless and shit.
Yeah, dude.
That's kind of the same thing, right?
I think it's a situation where there's people that don't know that there's deeper shit at fucking play, and they know exactly what they're doing. So we're sitting here arguing about whether or not there should be a black national anthem, and black people feel like they're getting picked on. We didn't ask for this. And white people feel like they're getting ignored, and Spanish people are like, well, where's our fucking national anthem? And Asians are like, we built the fucking railroads, and all of us are fighting with each other. And then you wake up on fucking Monday and another $60 billion to Ukraine and Israel.
So you're mad at the government for this?
Yeah. 2008, and again, I'm going to say this and then we'll move on. 2008, there was a fucking peasant rebellion. It was called Occupy Wall Street.
Right.
The government fucked us. The government got in bed with the banks too deep. They did derivatives. And by the way, it's worse now than it ever was. It's 10 times worse today than it was in 2008. We are teetering on the edge of absolute apocalyptic financial collapse. All right? If you look at the M1, not that anybody will, but if you look at the M1 Fed report from Q1, all right, like I'm sure Tommaso does all the time. You look at the M1 Fed report from the last quarter of 2023. We printed more money in those 4 months than every fucking day of our existence combined before those 4 months. Our inflation is 18 months behind money printing. If you think people are mad at a $12 beer now, they're going to be fucking revolutionary over a $25 beer in 18 months. We're teetering on the fucking precipice.
You think inflation is going like that?
A precipice. I don't want to go too much deeper into it, but they know what they fucking did. If you go back and you Google, and Dave Smith's talked about this a lot, you go back and you Google instances of racial strife. Racism in this country was all but over in 2007. 2008, the banks fucked everybody. Everybody got together. A populist revolution. Tea Party with the Black Panthers.
Right.
Gays
and
with
they
the
were
straights.
like, whoa, we don't want this. Let's make them fight with each other.
Fight with each other. And ever since we have been. And they keep getting richer and we keep fucking getting nothing. And now they know they're ratcheting it up. Let these peasants argue about a black national anthem. A song 15 minutes before a game. And have these guys arguing for 48 hours. While we sit here.
It's working. Look at how mad this dude is.
Yeah. I'm mad, dude, that it's kind of obvious to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I
and
get it.
should be obvious to everybody. And then you look up and your rent is $3,000 fucking dollars, and a Big Mac, not that you guys would eat them, is 20 fucking bucks, right? And we sit here and we want to argue about, are white people racist? Does the black community deserve a national anthem? Blah 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 blah. But then you look at the borders wide the fuck open. 53 million to illegals in New York, while people who have lived here their whole lives cannot afford rent. But let's argue over a black national anthem. Let's argue about Taylor Swift on TV. Drives me out of my mind. And I know enough from the entertainment industry to know that it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. They know that favoritism breeds contempt.
So what are people
If
supposed
your
to do?
dad treated you the best your whole life, and you were aware of it, then you are aware that your family would resent you for it. It doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long, man. It doesn't.
So you're saying the agenda is to make people mad at the people who are getting
100%.
favorable treatment?
Absolutely. Make the people who get the favorable treatment believe it's justified, and make the people who don't get the favorable treatment blame them for their problems. Now we're going to be mad at immigrants and black people in 2 years when there's a fucking economic collapse.
Are, or the whatever, the people who are pulling the strings? Because
it's easy to see the color of somebody's skin. It's hard to know who's the decision maker at BlackRock. So when I want to express my frustration, right, when the manipulation manifests itself in violent blowback, it's not going to be against these nameless actors.
And before you finish, I think it's important because it can seem a little bit like you sound like an angry white guy.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, I am an angry white guy.
But I mean, you know what I mean? Like the angry white guy that they're portraying.
Sure.
But I think you got to make it clear that you're mad at the people pulling the strings at the government and the people like that.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I can do better about the messaging. But at the same time, if you're mad at what I'm saying is happening and not mad at what's happening, fuck you. I don't give a shit. Call me a racist. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm not.
It's Black History Month.
Black History Month. And walk down the street and find one person who knows who Thomas Sowell is. One of the most important black thinkers of all time.
Right.
I've read all Thomas. I won't say all. I've read 10 Thomas Sowell books. How many people you know have read one? How many people you know who knows who Thomas Sowell is? Christian, I guarantee. Christian is younger than all of us. He's grown up in a world that promotes much more black culture than our education ever did, and I guarantee he has no idea who Thomas Sowell is. No clue, right?
No clue.
But you know who Maya Angelou is?
No.
No? Well, then you're just fucking shit. You just don't know. You just had a shit education, son. Yeah, because Black History Month has nothing to do with black people. It's Communist History Month. It's all people that were communist sympathizers all throughout the line. So it's indoctrination. Anyway, it was so triggering to me. It was so triggering to my white fragility that all I'm trying to do is watch a football game.
Who won?
Kansas City.
Chiefs,
City.
I called it.
The fix was in.
Gerard
Look at
called the under.
Yeah.
Who'd they play?
San Francisco.
49ers.
San Francisco.
Oh, that's great.
It's big time stuff.
Wow.
So, what would be the equivalent to pivot? What would be the equivalent of Kyle Shanahan in the UFC? Is there somebody that fought for the championship
Kyle Shanahan is a coach of the
3
49ers.
times?
Oh, that's a cool job to have.
It is pretty sick.
It is, man.
It's pretty sweet.
Kyle Shanahan.
I guarantee that
sweet
coach
gig.
makes a pretty good living for
Fucking A,
being
right.
a coach
Fucking
of
A,
a
right.
professional team.
Dude,
Yeah.
college coaches. You have no idea what they make. I guarantee you have no clue how much college coaches make.
Millions.
They make pretty good money because I've looked it up compared to what
How do MMA coaches do?
I told you I lived in a van. Didn't I?
So you guys, so the MMA
I do it
world,
for the love from my heart, you know.
I get it. Do you like that? How's that love going?
I
I
wish this was
donated.
sharp enough.
I donated to charity yesterday, and I kept waiting for it to feel good. I donated a lot of money to charity for me, and I kept waiting for it to feel good. It still don't feel good. I almost want a refund. I don't think I like donating to charity. I don't think that's for me. You know how people are like, oh, I like doing selfless things.
So you don't like charity or commercials?
2 for 2. Wow. 2 for 2. I think I should have just given somebody the money. Then I would have been like,
me.
huh? I feel like
Donate
I do.
to me.
I try to anyway.
I mean,
Anyway.
put your ass to work, but
get to work, Chris. Yeah.
you're
So
saying like that Kyle Shanahan, he went to what, 2 Super Bowls, lost 2
he's
NFC
been
championship
so he's
games?
been to 2 as a head coach. He had a 10-point lead in the third quarter of both games. Lost them.
Did he really? Was it like his like he made the difference?
Oh well, it's
I'm
debatable.
just
It's debatable. That's a great
I
point.
mean, like what I do. Like, do I really make the difference?
What do you
Like,
think? How important do you think coaching?
I mean, when I was younger,
Like-
I thought maybe I like when you first start doing.
Well, I
this, you're
imagine
like,
you make a
oh,
huge
you know,
difference.
I mean, I
in
guess
training camp, right?
I don't know. Do I? I don't know.
Do you-
Sometimes I think like, what's the point of this? What do I do? But you know, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Existential crisis.
there's like, you know, when I first started, I think it was like I thought I had to be hard nosed, like some of the coaches I'd watch, and you have to like make them, you know, be tough and say certain things to like pull it out of them. Then you just realize it's just all about knowing personalities and knowing how to like what kind of just reading people and knowing how to get them to perform or just feel comfortable.
But that's massively important, isn't it?
Yeah. But just feel comfortable, right? Like, I mean, you can have all the skills in the world, or you can have no skills, and you can still get ahead and perform. But if you don't feel comfortable in the situation, about it, like I remember fighting and not having the coach that I trained with in the corner, I just felt off. You know, like sometimes it's just people just have like a good luck charm. I hate to say that, but just people around them that make them feel good. And if you feel good, like, and believe in yourself, like, man, that gets you so far sometimes.
That's very interesting. I had a coach who, when I finished playing baseball, I would talk to about getting into coaching, and he became a really good friend, mentor of mine. And, you know, I'm like, man, it always felt like you knew what to say. And he's like, yeah, I was lying to you. I'm like, what?
I mean,
He's like, yeah, I'm like, bro, but no, remember blah, 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 blah. I was like, you telling me my hands were dropping. He was like, I need to tell you something. You were in your head.
But he's just reading it, right? He's reading you, and he knows how to, like, you know, kind of poke you and
He
get
just
the
gave me something to think
like if
about.
I had
yeah.
to,
Push
like if
the
I like if I had
buttons
to
that are gonna
fight
bring
if I
the
had to
best
fire
out
this
of
guy up, let's say he was like just kind of like not
It
feeling
was flat.
Man, I start talking about the Super Bowl and this guy would be knocking heads off, right? I mean, come on.
Hey,
But-
did you
but-
see what they did on CNN last night?
But look at see right there, like I just brought it up and he's excited. You know, it's just that.
This is
No,
this
but
is
but
just
you know
my-
what I mean? It's just like just
My state of being.
it's just reading it. Like I mean,
See me in the car.
there's tons of guys that do what I do that probably have more knowledge or better skills, but I think it's just, you know, putting the right people together and just reading it, right?
So that's kind of something that you've taken to, and I've seen. I had you with me on fight week in my last fight, and you made the weight cut like kind of like chill and fun. You know what I mean? And then you know you're very like kind of relaxed, like kind of almost making a, you know, it's a big thing
I mean,
to
it's
these
gotta be.
fighters, but you're making it.
This shit's serious. Like, I mean, you guys are going in there to do something that most people wouldn't do or they think they can do, but it's crazy. It's like you're going in
So
there.
you're trying
and-
to almost to bring some levity
yeah, like
and
why
that,
not?
some
Like
comfortability to the
it's-
situation.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, from doing this for so long, you kind of just well, I mean, like, why make it something? It already is big.
But do you
It's
think
like the most important
Well,
thing.
that's
You could
something
be like
Henry
you could
says.
be like the amateur fighter, like your first fight, or you could be fighting for a world title. It's like it's the same thing.
It's
You're
pretty much
it's
same
still
feeling.
it's the experience. You're still have to go through it. You still have to perform, but it's still like the biggest thing to you. So I don't want to have to remind you that it's the biggest thing because then there's already pressure on you.
Right.
You know what you have to do, and you know what you're supposed to do or what you want to do. Let's not focus all on that.
Mhm.
Let's just have some fun. That's why. I mean, that's why you started. That's why. I mean, I like hitting people. I like getting hit, and it was fun to me. So that's why I did it, and that's why most people kind of get into it because it is kind of. I mean, yeah, it's fun, and sometimes it really sucks. Sometimes
Yeah,
it does.
sure.
But when it does all work out, then it's really fun, right? So that's kind of like why you do it, or that's my theory of why people do it. It's like it's experiences, man. It's the fun. Like you can lose and whatever, and I mean, if you lose a fight, you're still gonna be friends with them. Your family's still gonna love you. You know, maybe not as many people call you the next day, but you had that experience that'll like be with you forever. Hopefully, it's good or bad. But you know what I mean? It's just
Right.
so
And
I don't want to have as my job. I don't want to bring some sort of influential energy that could be negative. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just got older and I don't want to say I don't give a shit, but it's kind of like.
Well, it's your job, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like at the end of the day, it's what you do for a living.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
not everybody
Which
wakes up
is-
every day and is like, I'm gonna make a difference here at Starbucks. Like,
Which is no, that's true.
do
But
my job.
I mean, it would help, wouldn't it? I mean, that would kind of comes back to more or less kind of what you were talking about. But like people, I just don't think people really care anymore, right? Like, man, I get off the plane in Newark, I'm just like, what's going on? Why is that guy trying to kill that guy behind the counter at Burger King for what? Why do they why?
The
Like,
service industry is like
but-
they're like
yeah, and maybe they're not.
things in general just are worse. Like that is the other stress that I think I do feel, and people maybe a little bit older than you feel is like we remember like shit wasn't always like this,
No.
man. Like it was not always like this, dude. And it's a hard thing for like the younger generation. Like we're living through like some fucking legit abuse right now. Like every day we just get fucking lied to, and we just get like.
I mean, yeah, of
you know.
course, but it's also, I mean, I don't know. I got something in my pocket. You got something. Like, put these things down. Like, I mean, they influence us so much.
Oh, you think the phone's an issue?
Oh, dude. I mean, it's the instant gratification. It's the I can find answers right away. Like, do you know how many times I just reach for it? Like, if I just leave it somewhere, I'm like, where is it? Where is it?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's like, wow, how did it? Like, I remember.
Do you ever feel your pocket buzz and it's not in your
Oh,
pocket?
dude, all the
Yeah.
time, dude.
Whoa.
But like, I remember the time before there was that. Like, you want to meet up with friends, you like just show up at a house. There's like certain spots you go to where they might be, and then you kind of just go from there.
Yeah.
You know, and then like a cell phone came out where you flip or whatever, or like a phone where you can walk outside. Like, I don't know. I mean, you didn't have as much access to shit. I don't think I would. I mean, I don't know if I know more now or if I know less or if I just rely on. I mean, I don't know a lot.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes.
But you know what I mean?
But,
It's just-
but you
it's-
know how to
yeah.
find out, though.
I
now.
feel-
Yeah.
I
Like,
feel
it's
like-
easier to find out than it ever was.
And I feel like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the phones,
And
it's
it's so
like
instant.
it's like a conjuring device too. It's like someone could steal your attention and steal your time whenever they want,
Yo,
if you allow it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I also like it for like, if you want to be mischievous, nobody's looks stuff anymore, dude.
No doubt.
You know,
Oh,
like,
bro.
But it's
Yeah.
very
I mean,
interesting.
not that I'm doing, but you know, like,
Yeah.
No,
I
bro,
could be in
people are
broad
walking
daylight.
with their heads in the phone.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
I
so
could be in
much.
broad daylight doing whatever I want, and
Yeah.
nobody's looking up. But then you also get recorded. So I mean,
Yeah,
there's,
then if out of their peripheral vision they
Yeah.
see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just a
Well,
really
that conjuring device thing is very interesting because
weird time.
if you called back in the landline days before, like if you called my house after like 6:30 when my dad got home from work, somebody better have been fucking dead. Like the way he would answer the
Yeah, yeah,
phone if
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like a
yeah.
telemarketer, he would be like, somebody better be fucking dead.
Yeah,
Like, and because like, hey, the phone's off. Like
Yeah.
6:30, we're home, family time, and
Yeah.
then whatever. Like, there's no calling. Like, oh my God, the horror of when you first started dating your first girl, and she would call the house, and then like somebody on the phone would have to. So who's this? Tell me about you, Mom. Give me the phone.
and then you hope like there wasn't another line in the house.
Oh,
Someone's listening
exactly.
in.
They
You're
were
like,
always
you know what I mean?
listening.
Mom,
Yeah.
Mom, are you?
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you breathing.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You try to get on AOL Instant Messenger to like talk with your friends for a little bit, and then they get on the phone, and then you lose your connection, and then you realize your
Or-
dad took the
yeah.
phone off the hook because he didn't want you on the computer.
Or you try
know?
to call someone, they're on it, and it's like the phone's just busy all day, and I
Yeah.
have to go to their house and hope that they were there. And, oh man.
Yeah, dude. But as,
I mean,
as frustrating as that was, there wasn't like almost it was like almost having a weekend at night. It was like, all right, we're done with socializing.
Yeah.
We're done. This is family time. This is me time. I can get my shit done. I can get my work done.
I just couldn't imagine like
The TV used to turn off. Like they would end programming at night.
Yeah.
They would do
Yeah.
like God Bless America
Yeah,
or the
yeah, and it would
national
just
anthem,
go off.
and it would just turn off.
Yeah.
And then it would be like
Really?
like
Yeah.
it would be
Because I knew we couldn't control ourselves. We just
Yeah,
watch it
well,
all
well,
night.
Yeah, look at us now. We're all a bunch of fucking technological junkies.
I just like in bed. I'm like, I gotta look at this. What am I looking at?
I'm watching I Caesar till 2:00 in the morning for no reason because I want to just see how it ends.
5-second clips over and over. It's like,
Oh, dude, TikTok's
No,
wild.
but just any.
It learns what you like, and then you just like you look up and you're like, I've been
Yeah, but
watching.
it's just like these fast
cooking
like,
videos for
It's
4
perfect
hours?
for no attention span. You're like, ooh, look at that.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
ADD.
And then, your
bad.
day, then it's like, oh, I just sat here for how long?
Yeah, it really is.
But that's why I go out and see things.
So,
you know.
but what made you conscious of that? What made you be like, all right, I got to put the phone down and go
I
get out?
I mean, I don't think I mean, I'm always on it. I still like. I'm not saying like, oh, like I'm some dude that's like better.
Yeah,
than
there's
everybody else.
fucking naked chicks on that thing, bud.
I know. There's
Whenever
a
you
lot,
want.
dude. It's
There's
amazing.
naked chicks whenever
Nah,
you
you
want.
didn't-
I
you didn't
definitely
have to
think
go to
you're-
the store and
I
steal.
think you do a good job of participating in life more
I mean,
than more than most people. That's one of the things I love about you. Then most people are caught up in their phones and caught up in the bullshit on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of it's like a fake world.
Mhm.
Social media, it's portrayals, and then you make up you put your perception on what they're portraying, and you start being like, man, I want that too. You know what I
But
mean?
I also feel
That
like
being said, follow Slick and Thick on all social media
Definitely.
platforms, and
And
please
Cancel
like,
Weekly.
subscribe, and
but I
all
also
that
feel like
shit.
if I don't do that world, I'm like missing out. Like I'm like,
yeah.
you know, like especially like
Dude, we're all our
but
marketing
I like-
agents, PR agents now. Like, you can't just live. It's like everybody's running like their own life as it's like this little corporation.
But
It's
even
like,
in
you
this
know?
world that I'm in, where it's like I've worked hard to get where I'm at, and it's like if I'm not showing a video of me holding pads or something, there's some clown out there doing it who didn't do anything. Like he just learned how to do a combo and they practice it 20 times and they record it. It's like, well, that dude must know what he's talking about. And then everybody's an expert, you know. It's
So,
like
so then, what do you think about the?
kind of a stolen valor type
Well,
thing.
Yeah,
well,
it's like-
speaking of stolen valor, what do you think of the influencer fighter, the guy who's out there, you know, fighting 3-4 times and making $1 million because they got a couple million
you know,
followers?
I that is a tough one because he's still fighting. I mean, they're still getting in there and doing it.
Do you
Like,
think it's 100% legit fighting? Do you think they're actually
I mean,
fighting?
what do you mean? You think it's like made up, like they practiced beforehand, or what?
No, like someone's like taking a
Pulling
dive.
their punches a little, maybe?
I don't know, dude. I mean,
and that shit goes on.
I-
It's happened before. I don't know.
I
You know.
mean, I don't think about it that much.
Mhm.
I'm happy that these guys can go out there and like, why didn't I think of it? Why didn't I like make a YouTube channel and do whatever and record
Mhm,
my life
mhm.
every 5 minutes? Because I don't know, it seems entertaining. People say it is, and then maybe I could like fight one of these dudes and actually make a payday other than $150 an hour. You know, like it's all I ever
Right.
made. Like as a like, you know, like, and these dudes are making tons of money. But it also brings new eyes on the sport. Maybe I don't
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
You know, I don't know. I could say yes or no. It's bad. It's terrible. But I don't know, they're still fighting, and they still had to put in some sort of work to get themselves noticed, right?
Mhm.
You know, people might think they're clowns or whatever, but we're still talking about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they
agree.
still
I
had
agree.
to. They still have some sort of work ethic or some sort of like drive to get them to get noticed by millions of people.
So do you guys think that that's a future component of your sport, is what your
It's a
media
future,
presence
but
is?
It's a present
It's a future of
Oh,
everything.
really?
But it's a future of everything, isn't it? I mean, if I mean, that's really what it comes down. Like you maybe in the entertainment world.
No, it's
I-
100%.
I'm just saying, like, what,
No,
if
to
you
your
don't
point.
bring any value, what are you?
There's
Yeah,
a
can
so
have
very,
you got a
very
million
good point.
followers.
Yeah,
they'll
but-
pop you in a movie.
Yeah,
You
But
promote it.
but even so,
no doubt
that
about it.
like if there's no, if you don't have a draw, I mean, it's
Well-
and that can be before TV, before phones.
No,
before,
but to your point,
if
when
there
I
was no
first
draw,
got,
there's no good writers, there's no good authors. What makes you want to
well, they
more? Like
they
you
think
need
about
something.
audience capture first, and then they're like, okay, we got them, then we'll give them something good the next time. Back when I was first starting, they would ask you to send a tape, like a demo.
Yeah,
They'd
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
what's your tape, you know? But, you know, I wasn't that old. Like, you would send a link. It would be a YouTube, and, like, you know, you'd have your YouTube in 5 minutes or whatever. Now they ask the very first thing when you put in your avails,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how many followers you got?
Yeah, yeah,
What's your
yeah.
following? You know? And it's like, okay. Like, you
Well,
know, they don't even care.
no.
If you know.
It's
and
like boxing promoters. How many tickets do you sell? You may not be able to fight. You can't fight, but man, you can sell some tickets. We'll put you on. You know,
Mhm.
like
For sure. That's the regional scene of
right,
MMA.
dude, everything,
It's like,
dude. Like
If
I
you
don't
sell
know.
100 tickets, they'll find you a fight.
Is
Yeah.
that right? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
No
yeah.
shit.
Well, that's how they make money.
These guys can get
People-
hurt though. Like, you're not gonna get hurt bombing on stage. You're gonna get hurt doing that.
Well, it's the same thing with the celebrity fighter guys. Like whatever, like the same thing. They can still get hurt. Even if they're taking a dive, you get hit wrong, and you know you only get one of those things upstairs. And
Mhm.
you knock that thing wrong sometimes, it don't come back. You know.
Mhm.
I don't know. What are we talking about?
No, but I so if you're a fighter, like, and you just want to be the best fighter in the world,
Yeah.
You know, Mitch Hedberg used to have a real good beef about this. He's like, I worked my ass off to be a comedian. I became
yeah.
one of the best comedians in the world. And they're like, hey man, you're really funny. Can you write? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't want to write movies. I want to tell jokes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, he's like, imagine you worked your ass off to become the best chef in the world. You worked your ass off. You're an unbelievable chef. And they're like, hey man, can you farm? It's like, what
Yeah.
the, you know, and you see it. You're one of the best fighters in the world. You work your ass off. You're in there 3-4 times a day, and then they're like, yeah, what's your media training?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how many viral videos do you got? You know, KSI's got a million views a video. You know, it's like, fuck. On one hand, I guess it is a good thing because
yeah.
it fills
but
seats.
yeah, I mean, it is frustrating. Like I feel frustrated. Like I used to watch boxing all the time, but
it's not even on HBO anymore.
I don't know how to find it. Like you said,
Yeah.
like what I wouldn't even know
Hey,
how to turn
were
on
you-
the Super Bowl.
Were you at Rufus Sport when I fought CM Punk?
No.
You weren't?
No, I left in 2000. 2003 was my last fight, and then I left around 2004. So no.
Okay.
But I know when he was there, like I'd go back and visit. I never actually ran into him. But,
It's funny that everybody still calls him CM Punk. Like even when he was a real fighter, nobody called him Phil Brooks. It's like I wouldn't want to go by my wrestling name if I was really fighting. Like call me Phil.
That was part of his appeal.
Yeah.
You know, that's how he got all those.
It is
fans
crazy.
by
I know
doing
you
the
fought
wrestling
him. That's
stuff.
crazy.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever approach you about doing a work on that and be like, hey,
Never.
not
No.
even a little bit? They were like, look, this guy is really famous.
No,
We
absolutely
don't
not.
throw so hard.
No, I would not have played ball.
Uh-huh.
But two, it didn't happen.
Gotcha.
I'd say if it did, it'd be breaking news on this podcast. I almost want to lie, but no.
Yeah, I mean,
The truth is no. That never happened.
yeah, because I mean the cynical guy, obviously that I am.
He bet against me.
I did. I
That
bet.
fight.
Did he?
I thought it was a work.
Oh,
I was like, there's no way
brilliant.
they're gonna bring this guy in to fucking get his ass kicked. Like, you know, they're gonna.
But I think that's what's great about that is they don't. There's no like boxing. It's like you got some money behind a dude, you can kind of get him to where you got to get him. You know what I mean?
Take
And
him
then-
out of Mexico and give him
Well,
a bunch
yeah,
of
yeah,
nice
just,
fights.
Just yeah, whatever. But in the MMA, in the top promotion, you don't get easy fights, man. These guys come up to me all the time. Hey, this is what I'm supposed to fight. It's like, all right, well, yeah, there's no easy fights. And you get in the UFC, there's nothing easy. There's no like, we're gonna help you out. I mean, sometimes guys might think they're helping guys out, but it's like, all these guys are tough.
Yeah.
All these guys got wins.
Right.
They all
People
got
say
losses.
that about like
Nobody-
Paddy the Batty and
Yeah,
McGregor. They
but
say
they're
they're
still-
being like, but they're still, you know what I mean? He's fighting our boy
They're-
Jared
they're
Gordon.
fighting-
but is that
Jared beat him.
is
But,
that true
they're
on the
fighting-
regional scene too, though?
To a degree, you're still fighting tough fights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I
So
don't
guys
think,
come out of Russia and they're 25-0, and like it's.
People can be brought along like
I mean, you
similarly
can
to
be,
boxing,
but-
where you have
but
to
I'm
have them
ju-
fight cans.
what I'm saying is like when you get at least to the top promotion, it's like, yeah, you're not getting an easy fight, dude. It's like you're like what boxing maybe was in the pre-90s, maybe mid-90s, where it's like guys would fight tough fights to get to where they got to get.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? They weren't like a manager. I mean, that's the difference between managers in boxing and MMA too. Is like the managers in boxing will put money out to build you up. You know what I mean? Where MMA managers sometimes they just kind of line you up with the right things, which is great. I don't want to start getting managers mad at me. You know what I mean? But it's just I don't know. I just like to see even fights. Like let's get guys at the top, especially in boxing. Like I wouldn't mind seeing that like local regional shows where it was like this dude's fighting this dude. He's maybe 2-3. He's 2-4. Let's give him a chance to kind of build his career up and maybe get out of whatever situation he's in instead of just becoming an opponent and they're paying this dude to lose. Or
Well, that's a hard
he's
thing,
getting-
right?
Yeah,
Because
it is.
in every other sport, you can lose a couple, and there's like a redemption arc. Like the Patriots can lose 4 games in a row, and then they still got 8 games,
sure,
and like
sure.
you're still
Yeah.
going to tune in. They
Well,
still
that's
got
what
16
that's what I
games.
kind of still that's what I like about maybe the UFC is there is that like guys will lose, they get out, maybe they get back in. It's like you can fight your way to the top.
Just
like,
keep fighting.
just keep fighting,
Yeah.
and eventually something might work out. There's a better chance for it working out than maybe other fight sports or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does make it tough when you're trying like from a business perspective and you're putting like all this money into promoting and building a guy like
Yeah.
McGregor or something like
Yeah.
that. And he loses 2 fights in a row. And it's like,
Then it's what?
yeah,
It's like, well, that's why the UFC is the promotion, not the guy.
yeah.
It's not like you have one guy you're building up and then it falls apart and it's like, now what? It's like,
Do you think there's any space for teams? Like you could become a fan of Killcliff, for example. You could be like
oh
you're
yeah,
a fan
I love
of the
that.
Yankees
I
or
mean,
something like
why
that.
not? Yeah, I guess it could be if it's marketed right. Why not?
Mhm.
Like that. I mean, that sounds cool to me. Like I guess people like gyms, right? Like certain gyms have certain fighters.
I pitched that show to Dana White. That I'd go around and expose the different teams in MMA. Like go spar,
yeah.
go train at this gym, go
Yeah.
to AKA or ATT or Killcliff or a TriStar or something like that, and kind of make
but that would
people
that would be.
aware of.
I think that's cool.
I mean, it'd be a cool
Dude,
show.
like if you're a
sports
kid,
teams, like sports
absolutely.
teams,
Like
right?
you want to fight the Miami Pit Bulls against the New
You're
York.
saying like professional, like having a professional team.
Yeah, so like
I don't know if that would work.
You don't think
they,
that would
they
work?
tried that. Remember
The PFL.
The
Or no, I'm
IFL.
sorry,
IFL, yeah.
I
And then there
I
was
remember that.
there was
They had the New York Pit Bulls.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. If, I just like the idea of the like bad gyms, like tough gym. Like this guy's from this gym, and he's from like back in the days, like Kronk Gym was like the gym.
Kronk, yeah.
like they had some bad motherfuckers in that gym. You know what I mean? Like
Was that Frank Shamrock? Was
No,
that,
dude, that's boxing. That's boxing.
That's
boxing.
Lions
Yeah,
Den.
Kronk,
but
Kronk was
But
Lions Den.
Emmanuel
This is-
Stewart.
Yeah,
And-
same
and
thing
who
with
were
like
some of
that
the guys?
too.
They had the Hitman, Tommy
Tommy
Hearns.
Hearns, Hilmer Kenty. Michael Moore was from out of there.
Michael Moore, that's right. Moore.
Yeah,
He did our podcast.
Great
Did he
guy.
really?
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he did the show.
Oh
yeah.
man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna come back on.
He's got
too.
some wild stories.
He was man. That guy could punch.
Great dude, man.
Light heavyweight, he knocked everybody out.
Yeah.
You know?
He just got in the Hall of Fame.
Just got in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
Someone said our show might have helped.
I just
make
saw
that
him.
happen.
Very small.
Well, of course,
probably
the work.
probably
of
the
him.
3
Of
heavyweight
course.
championships,
Of
but
course.
but,
I'm just saying-
also us.
I'm just saying we
50-50.
did receive some messages.
We got some messages.
We got some messages.
Yeah, Kronk was like, Mickey Goodwin. Like there was some bad dudes there. Like everybody from Milwaukee that got good would go there.
Was
you
that
know?
Detroit?
Yeah,
That
Detroit.
was
yeah.
Detroit. That was
Like
Detroit.
if you were in Midwest and you were like, that's where you go.
Yeah.
Milwaukee has a sneaky mob history, man. That was like a hideout for people that would get
What
in
do you mean
trouble.
Sneaky, like what?
Like it's a sneaky mob. Like the people, like
don't
towns you
think
wouldn't
of-
associate. Like Little Rock, Arkansas is a mob
Or
haven.
isn't it Hot Springs or something?
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I think it's
Yeah.
Hot Springs. Yeah, and like Milwaukee, apparently that was like a big hideout for people that were in trouble in Detroit and Cleveland and Chicago. They'd hightail it up to Milwaukee and hang out for a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah, that's the
Didn't-
juice, I guess.
Did they have something to do with building Las Vegas too?
Milwaukee
Milwaukee?
Brewers. Milwaukee was a huge place for prohibition, bringing in the hooch from Canada,
Okay.
coming across the lakes there. How about
Yeah, a
Madison?
lot of
you like,
breweries.
you like
They got-
Madison, Wisconsin?
I've been there a few times.
Some of the best looking women you've ever seen in your life. No, you would never guess. Madison, Wisconsin. Unbelievable. And guys are massive. I'm like a medium in
Yeah, there's some
Madison,
there's some
Wisconsin. I don't know what the hell's going
there's
on
some
up
big
there.
people in Wisconsin.
Big people.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Oh, sorry, bud. Probably all the skateboarding and train
I guess so.
riding.
I didn't eat enough. I was deprived.
Should have grown up in my family.
Well, my
Would've-
dad
would've
wasn't
beat you
from
up.
there. That's what it was. Like he was somewhere else. So yeah, that's what happened.
What got you into fighting, man?
I just liked it. Yeah, I mean, I guess what really comes. Yeah, I just like fighting.
Was there
Like-
any fighters in particular that you looked up to where you were like, man,
I don't know if it was that. Like when I was younger, you just watched fight movies and they were cool back then. Like you're like, oh, I want to do that, and you boxing with Rocky, and you go out in the backyard. You're like, I could take a beating and keep coming. Like that's
Yeah.
always like my thing was like I always wanted to be in a fight where it was like I'd get beat down and then I'd come. Like those are my he'd lay in bed before he fall asleep. Those are your
Sure.
fantasies. Like I'd get beat up and then I'd come back and beat someone up. And so I always thought I was like gonna be this tough dude who could take all this punishment. Shorten my career, didn't it? Fucking moron. But watching Bloodsport and Kickboxer and like Only the Strong, like those movies back in the 80s and 90s, like
only the strong.
those-
Wow.
those movies, like,
nah,
like
nah, nah, way. Nah, nah,
I thought
nah, way,
when I
nah,
saw
nah,
it, I
nah.
was like, man, that's kind of cool. I don't know, watching it later on in life, I was like, I don't know if that movie was so good. you know?
Yeah. Same thing with I loved the one with what was it, Three Ninjas or something like that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that as a
yeah,
kid.
yeah.
I love that
Yeah,
movie.
there's a
I
couple
watched it,
movies
like,
where you're
at
like,
21. I'm like, that's a horrible
yeah,
movie.
you
my God.
rewatch them and you're like, and it wasn't like what I thought. So so I like that, and
It's a
then
capoeira movie. Only the
I figured
strong.
by the song.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know what you do. Yeah. Only I don't think there's any real
Best
plot.
of the best,
Oh,
like
best of the best. Yeah.
yeah, weird. 90s. 80s.
I thought the Rockies were cool, but most
No, they
fight
were
movies,
good.
I remember seeing Never Back Down.
Yeah.
But
Well,
then now that you do it, it's like I can't watch them. Like it's just I'd rather watch a rom com. It's like I don't know, like the fighting movies. Like
What was
now you realize, man, you get hit and you're like, I'm messed up for like days sometimes. Like there's no way I can just shake it off. And like if they get knocked out and wake up and keep fighting, dude, if you get knocked out and you're asleep, you're not gonna.
No, you just slam the ground and you get up and try
Dude,
harder.
you get up and you're like, I don't. Where you think you're trying to convince that's the best part when you convince yourself like I'm fine, and then you keep convincing yourself you're fine because you don't know what's going on.
Have you ever seen a movie that you think got fighting right, or most of the way right?
What was that one with Jake Gyllenhaal? That boxing movie.
Oh,
Lefty?
Southpaw.
Southpaw?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I never saw it.
The way it felt. Like
Anyone see the Vinny Paz movie?
I like that
No.
movie.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that, but I want to see that
But
one.
that was that's
But
ba-
I
but that's
like the
based on
boxing
something.
ones more.
Yeah.
For some reason. Maybe because we do MMA.
What was it called?
And
Gladiator?
maybe-
What was the one where the Sage Northcutt looking guy fought against Cuba Gooding Jr. in the
Oh,
80s
I
B
like
movie?
that one.
Yeah, yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
Is that
one.
Gladiator?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Gladiator?
yeah,
Yeah, that
I
one
mean-
I mean,
was
it's,
good.
White boy goes in the hood.
but I can't even watch like action movies. Like, just like too much. Like, what are you doing?
I know.
Like, what
The
are you
shake- you
doing?
talking
You
about, like,
watch
the shaky
John
cam and
Wick
stuff?
and you're like,
yeah, I
all
mean,
right, he'd have
that
been.
was all right. But like, yeah, some of the stuff was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I can't do.
The last couple John Wicks have been
I don't.
All
Feel,
right, even like that
outrageous.
first one,
Well,
he-
ma-
I- like,
where they shoot and they have they could use.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's
their
what
shoot
about
to block
ow,
the
my
bullets.
hand?
yeah,
Like,
but that's what.
It's a bullet. No.
But that's what
I
movies
call
are.
base. I call base.
That's a movie. Like Rambo used to unload and like you never reloaded. Like I mean, that's what movies are. You watch it because of the
Not
fantasy.
the first one.
And
The first Rambo was pretty
Yeah, you're right.
realistic.
But that's why you watch a movie, to like take yourself out of reality for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
just.
same reason you watch
It
the
makes
Super
me.
Bowl.
It
bud.
makes me too
It's the
aware.
same reason you watch the
Yeah,
Super
but you
Bowl.
went somewhere else with
It
that.
gets rid. It gets rid. Yeah, true. It gets rid of.
Just
It
touch
gets,
some
the
open
suspension of reality like goes away when it's like too far fetched.
Yeah.
Or it's too
yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a problem with comedy. So all comedy is based in reality. As soon as the characters get absurd, nobody gives comedy a chance, right? So like this is where people screw it up a lot.
Like
'Cause
what?
they want to take it to crazy town. But there always has to be that character that grounds you, you know, to make it real for the people watching. Otherwise,
Like a
you know,
straight man.
there has to be. There has to be that character, you know, where if everybody's going, you know, Looney Tunes all the time, the audience actually turns off. They're just like, all right, this is a waste of my time. It's too silly. There might be like a funny bit.
Can't go too long with it.
Can't go too long with it.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live struggled with that for the last decade and a half.
Yeah.
They just, everybody on Saturday Night Live
Wants
is
to be
not,
the funny guy.
well, yeah, they're not on Saturday Night Live to like make a good sketch. They're on Saturday Night Live to become a movie star. So none of them will play point guard for the other person. They're all trying to chew the scene off of each other in 5 minutes.
What was your
and that's too
favorite
much.
era of? Would you watch a lot of Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite era.
Is it still on? I'm so sorry to ask.
It is.
that.
It is.
It is.
Yes, it is. Saturday Night Live. My
I couldn't
favorite
tell
era.
you who's on it now. Is Keenan Thompson still on it?
Yeah,
Keenan and Kel?
I feel like Keenan. I've heard nothing but great things about him, so I hate to talk shit, but I feel like that dude has been on TV my entire life, and I haven't laughed once. Maybe one Celebrity Jeopardy thing. Like I just don't get it.
I like Keenan.
I just
and Kel,
don't
but
get
He
it.
was like the straight man in Keenan and Kel. Kel was a crazy guy.
Kind of. Go back and watch it. He plays like
Why?
he plays like Goofy.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know.
Like, did you appreciate the like Bill Murray days?
Loved
and-
it.
Yeah.
But that was a little before
I mean,
my time.
yeah, of
Me,
course.
I started with like the Adam Sandler, Chris Kattan,
yeah,
Tim
yeah.
Meadows days, and then Chris Farley, obviously.
Yeah,
the
that's
end of it's funny because I was too young to really understand
Sure.
Norm Macdonald or Colin Quinn.
Oh.
I didn't like that at all.
Norm
I like
Macdonald
the
is
silly
so
stuff.
funny.
The best,
Yeah.
right?
I
Now you
remember
go
he
back
did
and
like
watch it,
this
it's hilarious.
he was doing like a roast, and he did like this anti-comedian. I don't know, what would you call it, where he's doing like bad jokes.
Oh, he's trying.
But
He's trying to bomb.
like he's bombing on
Yeah.
purpose, and the first two jokes are kind of
Bob
like, oh, it's like
Saget.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
People think Bob Saget's a great guy. He kills hookers.
Yeah, exactly. And it just keeps going, so it's almost like
Yeah.
cringy.
Oh, I love
was
it.
So fucking funny.
I love the way he was the best at that, right?
Yeah.
Just like digging a hole and making a story take forever and then really go
Oh.
nowhere.
Yeah.
And then that was it. He would just leave it.
There's a story that
It's like, what?
there's
Yeah,
a story
and
that
then it was
he
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Norm.
apparently he
R.I.P.
dropped in. I'm trying to remember the club. I want to say Caroline's, but I don't remember. But there was like a very famous like New York comedy story, one of these stories where he like did a drop in, and the whole crowd was like, "Holy shit, it's Norm Macdonald!" And he goes up there, and for 15 minutes he tells this story.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Pausing.
You know, and he's talking about
Yeah.
this horse, right? And there's this horse, and this horse, well, by God, it's a miracle. This horse can talk. And you know, of course, not only is it a talking horse, but it's a certified genius. NASA gets its hands on this horse. And he works this whole story. No jokes, no anything. People
a
going,
story.
what the hell's going on here? And the whole thing was, then the end is, well, this horse, you know, and they decide they're going to send this horse to outer space, and this horse he's brilliant, you know, and he's thinking about the existential threat to everything. Like, what does this mean? I'm just a lowly horse. I'm a humble horse. What am I doing going to outer space? What have I done to deserve this? And he walks into a bar with all this weight on his shoulders, and the bartender goes, "Hey, buddy, why the long face?" And he puts the mic down and walks out. He did a 15-minute horse walks into the bar. Why the long face?
But that's why he was great. That's why he was great, because of that, because of those moments right
Imagine
there.
being in the audience sitting there for 15 minutes, and it's a horse walks into the bar. Hey, buddy, why the long face?
Who are your favorite comedians?
I mean, I like Norm. Bill Murray, Richard Pryor. I love watching Richard Pryor movies. I just one of my favorite movies is probably the Brewster's Millions.
Oh, that's a great one.
Because I always think like, what would I do?
Phenomenal.
How would I? You got
This
it?
one, yeah,
Need the sword?
maybe.
All right. I was like, how would I spend all that money not telling my friends? You know, it's like, yeah, he's good. I don't know what else I said. I'll just stay right. Oh, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
If I had Brewster's Millions, I would make a car that looks like a catamaran,
Yeah, but you can't keep
What's
it.
what's the concept of that? He has to spend a certain amount of money.
He has to spend like
get a
$30
shit
million
ton?
in 30 days or whatever, and then he gets a whole bunch. But he can't acquire anything, or he can't like have assets at the end. He has to be broke. So he has to spend all the money. He can't give it away. And
I feel like that'd be easier nowadays.
yeah, probably not. You go to buy a couple Big Macs for some friends. It's done.
You can go to betus.com. That's betus.com/SNT125.
But he did. Remember, he gambled in the movie, and then he won, and then he ended up winning. He was like,
Oh, it's
he
like
bet on
just like
long.
everybody
He's
does.
like, I bet on long shots, and then they all came in, and the bookies like threw all the money on the floor. It's like, your money's no good anywhere in the city anymore. You know, and he like won all this money, and he's like, I'm trying to get rid of it all. You know,
Just like everybody else who followed our. Mick went 2 for 2 on his UFC picks on Friday night.
That's right. MJ and RoboCop.
oh
So-
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And
I pick with my heart.
And
And
I
I'm fucking
hammered my lock
killing
of the
it.
century. My absolute lock of the century was the first half under. So if you listen to us on the first half under and Taylor Swift over 5.5 was another lock of the century. Although we
I
did
called the Chiefs. I'd been hammering the Chiefs.
hammering the Chiefs, but we did fuck up the Pacheco anytime touchdown. We
So
were
what do you
real
do
heavy
now?
on
What do
that.
you do now that the football's over?
Drugs mostly.
Did those
Pass
make
the
did those
time.
make you angry like the game?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Sedate
Yeah, well, you know
some-
what, man? I was just
sedate
excited.
some
I'm
sleeps.
excited for a game. Thought we're coming out of this whole bullshit, and I get a 4-hour
Why
fucking
did you
lecture.
think we were coming out of all this bullshit?
I think
The
we're
fuck
coming
made
out
you-
of it. I thought everybody's sick of
Not
this
yet,
crap.
bro. No, they're gonna. I think it's a good thing. They're pushing the buttons more to get that fucking rubber band effect.
You seen any
It's people
good
to call
movies?
out the woke
Seen any good
bullshit.
movies lately?
When was the last good movie you saw, bro? Now you're getting my fucking. Now I'm going.
No.
Now I'm going even
No,
higher.
no, let's go. What's
What's the last good movie?
I
you
just
saw?
saw a movie. I went to the theater, and then I realized it was on Netflix. I didn't have to spend any money, but I did. Went to the theater. It was called what? End of the World, or
I saw Napoleon. I like that.
was it all right?
I like.
No,
Napoleon.
it was.
I know what you're talking about. It's the Obama movie about the dystopian future, right?
I don't know
Where
what-
there's a cyber attack and a civil war.
Oh, that one. Yeah. I kind of enjoyed that. Maybe you didn't like that one.
Not a big fan of the messaging in that film.
I guess you're right. I shouldn't have brought that
You didn't
one
like
up.
the
I
messaging.
didn't
You
watch
didn't
it.
notice the messaging.
Not a big fan of the messaging in said film.
What you think of Ross Brewster's Millions? The other day?
Love it. Can't get enough of it.
No, but you're right. I haven't really watched. I'm trying to think of the last movie.
I'll
I
tell you what.
watched
You want to
where I'm
get.
like,
You want to again. Do you want my throat to start pulsating again?
Not really.
They have an actual trigger warning before Blazing Saddles now when you go to watch it on
Why?
Disney Plus, I believe.
What do you mean?
A lady comes on, a nice lady of exactly of authority comes on and says, "This is a movie that."
Look what you did, Jason.
I know. I was trying to like.
I didn't see any good movies.
I was trying to smooth
he's
it
like-
over, and it's really.
Bro,
I picked the wrong movie.
This is bad though. This is part of it. All right, part of the whole fucking bullshit we're living through is that they go after your dreams. Like it's not enough that we have to go through this shit at work or in the fucking real world. It's like they don't even give you a respite. You can't watch a game without getting lectured and fucking.
And that hasn't been going on since the beginning of time.
Do you think it has? Do you think it's not more overt than it?
I mean,
it's been?
it's just easier to get out.
Yeah, maybe it's just we're getting hammered
Maybe.
with the fucking messaging everywhere.
Maybe.
And
But-
everybody's influenced. The guys that are making the TV, the guys that
So-
are making the commercials, the guys that are running.
so-
like everybody's, like
Maybe.
yeah, and then certain people take it certain ways.
Well, then maybe there's an artistic
And maybe we
value
just
to it.
shut off the TVs and just go play outside.
Well, because like you go back to
and
All
we
in
ain't
the
worried
Family,
about
right?
nothing. How you
Have
gonna
an
get your message
espresso, go
out?
chase the homeless
Yeah.
around, do some art.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I
Otherwise,
think,
I'd be inside being upset about everything too. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to be like that's all. You're just upset. But you brought up some points. Yeah, that was I could see it, but
But here's the thing, right? Like ignoring it doesn't change it. It exacerbates
so how?
it. It
I
makes
mean,
it worse.
this could like turn into 50 hours we talk about. Like, how do you change? Like, what?
Well, I do think awareness is the first thing because I think a lot of people are very afraid to talk about this thing because they are afraid to get labeled in one way or another. This
Of
guy
course,
is, you know what I'm saying?
but they're also. I
So-
just
so-
think also the TV is very influential. Whatever news channel you watch, whatever. It's not hard if you don't go outside and do something. If your only kind of communication you get is the thing you're sitting in front of, like
I agree with you.
you know
If
what I mean,
you're
or the
sitting
thing you're
there-
holding in your hand. Like if I don't know any better, if I don't see the world for
That
what it is,
ignorance
and
is
somebody's
bliss a
just
little bit.
telling me what it is, like I don't know. I'm just out doing stuff all day, and I don't see these things.
So
like
you
I
think
see.
when
I don't know what I mean. I don't really do. I go to the gym. I go wander. I hang out under bridges. I look at trains.
So
You know what I mean?
So
Like,
there you go, guys. If you don't want to engage in the culture, there's a lively bridge out there.
It's a bridge community.
Yeah, dude, I'm not talking like, look, if I was feeling this way and I was actively seeking this shit out, I would 100%.
sure. No, you're not.
agree
But
with you.
you're not.
If I was like watching Fox News all day and getting like, oh my God, this was the Super Bowl.
yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be a unifying event. Like our whole life, the Super Bowl was a unifying event. It really was. I mean, going either way back, to
No. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I mean, if that's the kind of the way you label it and put that much like into it, then the thing that's feeding you, they can put whatever they want on there. And if you're, you know what I mean? Like, it's the
Sure.
best time to get
But then I could get
the
upset.
attention of
when they're-
everybody. No, of
You know
course.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the feedback
Yeah,
loop.
I
The
mean-
feedback loop is that they try to do some fucking shit.
But then have they not had commercials on since the beginning of? I mean,
Precisely.
And
have
some
the
of-
commercials been like this?
no,
though?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched it in forever.
So then I mean,
I haven't
you know,
watched it since like the Bears had that rap song.
You're gonna have to take my. You're gonna have to
You know
take
what I
my
mean?
word
Like
for
that
it.
was great. The Bears rapped like that was cool. Or,
Yeah.
Or,
And look,
or like
even the people that are in it know it's obnoxious, but their
what's up?
their
man?
argument
So
is
what's up,
that
yeah.
it's a necessary overcorrection because for too long you couldn't have a gay couple.
I mean,
on
I
TV.
can't
For too long
watch-
you couldn't
I mean,
have an interracial couple on TV. Blah blah blah. So now they're thinking like this is not ideal, but it's an overcorrection. And if you want to be as generous as you could possibly be with your thoughts on it, it's all right. This will figure itself out. It was too far one way. Now it's too far the other way. It'll figure itself out in the middle. But it doesn't look that way because there are companies that have lost billions of dollars on this and they haven't changed course, which then makes you believe, okay, there's something deeper at play. Like when Disney loses Disney, one of the premier companies in the world, loses half of its market cap that it took 20 years to build in a 5-year period and doesn't pivot. You got to say, okay, well, what's more important than half of the money that they've ever made? That's where this is a little bit different.
Do you have a Disney subscription?
Do I have a Disney subscription?
Like, is that how you do it? That's how you watch on TV nowadays?
You'd have to have it. Well, no, because Disney owns so many other things. Disney
Yeah.
owns ESPN. Disney. So like, if I want to watch, you guys on ESPN Plus,
You're right.
I'm supporting
true.
Disney, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's see over there. So I get it. I understand the whole idea of like personal responsibility. You could turn it off whenever you want, and on a certain level, I agree with that. But I think this is bigger than that because they're making it so that you can't avoid them. It's okay, you turn it off, you go hang out under the bridge with your buddies, then you go and you buy a pack of Skittles, and Skittles has messaging on it. And it's like, okay, I literally can't fucking avoid it.
No, that's true. No. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I do. I don't know.
Skittles always been about the rainbow, though.
That's very true. Well, where they got in trouble is they took the color out. It was during last Pride Month. I don't know if you saw this. Skittles made all white Skittles.
Ooh,
It was
no
like,
bueno.
it was like-
No good.
They were like during Pride Month.
I don't like it.
Pride is the only color that matters during Pride Month, and so they had like these all white Skittles, and people were like, "I don't think you're making the point you think you're making here, guys. Like, maybe just sell fucking sugar to kids. Like, how could you be worse than that anyway? I look, I'm not. Yeah, look, I'm fired up after the Super Bowl. I know that that you didn't come on to talk about this shit, but at the end of the day, like it's to the people that are listening and to my followers and to the people that follow me, I do want you to know that you're not fucking crazy. This shit is happening. You get gaslit every day into making you feel like you're fucking nuts or you're the bad guy or you're some ist or something like that. No, this shit is happening, and you're fucking right to feel every way you feel about it. Right? And look, and to my fucking black followers and black friends, like, I'm not telling you not to accept it. Get where the getting's good. It was the same shit I said during PPP. Do I think we should be giving out PPP loans? Absolutely not. Does that mean you shouldn't take the money? Fucking take the money if they're going to give it. You can accept what's in front of you, and you don't need to like die on a hill for what's right and what's wrong. You can accept what's in front of you and then also say, fucking, it shouldn't be this way. And I guess that's kind of where I'm at, is saying like, yo, go ahead and get yours. Have at it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean everybody needs to be on board with it, because it's fucked. Diatribe over. So tell me more about kicking people in the head, Jason.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know about kicking people in the head?
I don't know, man. What do you think now that you've been a fighter? And
I wouldn't even call myself that. Like,
I'm gonna take off in like 10, but you guys keep going.
That's like a whole. That's done. Like, I fought for a very short time.
Mhm.
Like, it was like 3 or 4 year period, I had like 25 fights. I got it all.
That's a lot of fights.
I got it all in a short period of time.
So you fought though, and now you coach.
Yeah, and then I just kind of evolved into that. Like, I went to New York. Someone asked me if I could help get them ready for a national tournament. I took 2 guys on. We went down to Virginia or whatever it was. They both won. I was like, all right. Then I started training more guys. I kept continuing with those guys and seemed to have pretty good success with them. And then as my career went on, I just learned how to do this and become professional at it and see the damn world.
Is there something that you look at or look for in a fighter? Is there something when someone's
I
out
don't
there
even know.
you're
No, I mean, it's not even like, oh, that guy could be. I mean, you can see a talented guy, or I don't know. I guess you just need drive. You just need to show up and try, like everything else, right? You just show up and just try. Like, I know plenty of talented people that don't do shit. They just, I don't want to say waste it. They just don't know how to use it. And yeah, and at the end of the day, it's fighting, man. I mean, like, you got to get in there and eventually fight. You can pretend all you want, this or that, especially nowadays. Take pictures,
A lot of that shit.
talk shit, like, oh, I'm a bad dude. I'm like, I don't know. I remember talking shit like, I'm a bad dude. I was gonna fight this other dude we had beef with, and it's like, we came, he showed up, and we eventually just talked it down. I remember I still was like, hey, if you want to go over there and fight, I'm still down. And he just like looked at me, it's like, I just wish more people had that. Like, let's just fight, dude. Like, I don't know, like, you still got to go out there and do it, no matter how much you talk yourself up, And maybe I was even still scared to fight that dude at that point, but I don't know. I talked a bunch of like whatever I was gonna do this to him, so I might as well go and do it. You know what I mean?
So you scrapped it outside?
No, we never actually did. I think we kind of still friends with that guy. I don't know, but I don't even know where I was going with that story.
What you're looking for from the guy?
Yeah, just like I said, just show up and do it. Like, fight. Don't talk about it. Let's do it. I almost feel like the way to try it out is like, oh, I got this new guy and I think he's good. Just smack him in the face, and if he hits me back, like, all right, you're cool.
No shit.
But right? I mean,
yeah. Jump him in almost.
That's kind of what I mean. That's what I want to see. I want to see that you have that like, you want it. You want to go for it.
I've heard Mickey talk about this a bunch.
And then you can slow that down, because sometimes that gets you in trouble if you got too much of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Too tough for your own good.
Yeah.
But I've heard Mickey talk about this a bunch. Like, there seems to be guys that like to fight, and then there's guys that like other people to think that they fight. Like, how
especially nowadays, man, it's just
on Instagram. They're like Instagram fighters.
Oh, and I see that with other trainers or whatever you want to call them, like coaches. It's like, what have you done? Like, why do you think you like these football coaches? They got to go through what to get to where they are? Like, you can't just show up. You might know about the game. You can't just show up on the field and be like, I'm gonna coach this team. Like, there's no like regulations for that here. It's like, dudes just think like, I put pads in my hands and now I could train people and I maybe know a little bit. Like, yo, dude, I spent half my life doing this shit.
Yeah.
And I see some guy show up, it's like, he just knows how to kiss ass, and it's like, maybe I should learn how to do that better or sell myself better, and it kind of just pisses me off. And sometimes like, well, what the hell's the point of this shit?
Yeah.
But then I see these guys fight and win and smile, and I'm like, all right, I guess that's what it's about. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because I ain't getting rich doing this shit. I've wasted a lot of time, wasted a lot of money doing this shit. But I guess, it comes down to just, doing what you love. And it's like, like when you were I was in a band as a kid, and it's like, nobody paid us. We just got in a van, drove around. And he just did it because you had fun and loved it. Yeah. And it's kind of what keeps me doing this now. Otherwise, I'd be like, shit, I should have maybe just done construction and had a company and been, made more money instead of doing this shit sometimes.
But what you're doing
elbows are fucked up. Like,
but what you're doing is impactful.
Fucking
though,
can't
right?
remember shit.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean? Like, I sacrificed a lot of this, and I'll keep repeating it. Like, it just makes me mad, some of these coaches. And they get a little bit of limelight, and they think they're all special. And it's like, I don't know, chill out, dude. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to.
Well, but if
I know that's something Dorian hates too.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him like talk a lot on like in person, but also like online. Dorian Price talking about like these like pad holders and fake coaches. Really, you know what I mean? They're not like real like trainers, like really training people to fight, or like real coaches.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's just kind of like, I don't know.
Probably rolling your eyes looking at these dorks on Instagram.
It's just like something I love so much and put so much into, and it's like, all right, this dude's just gonna come do this. It's like, well, then why? Like, I don't know. It's just.
Do you have the branding guys in MMA? Because in baseball, there's like a new guy every 3 years who like has figured it out.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
happens.
like, everybody's been doing it this way, and what you really got to do is do this.
No, of course that happens with everything.
And they call it the XYZ method, and then like Aaron Judge it has this one coach and this one coach.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
that's
that coach taught Aaron Judge to be 6'8", 265 pounds.
That's with all sports, though, right? Somebody's got to. I just wish I had a little more of that. The P.T. Barnum sales pitch to get everybody to believe in like whatever it is I'm doing.
Because then you can kind of like sell.
Yeah,
the whole,
just
like Tom House. Everybody's heard the name Tom House. He's like the guy who like invented throwing.
Yeah.
You know, he watched Nolan Ryan and he worked, I think, with Terry Bradshaw. And the funniest thing about Tom House, and I don't say this as a negative, I actually say this as a positive. There's massive humility in this. He writes this book. I think it was called The Art of Pitching. I could be wrong. And everybody does this book, and then he writes another book 3 years or 4 years later that goes, oh, yeah.
Everything I said was wrong.
Everything I said was wrong. Yeah. Don't do any of that.
Yeah.
Like, I was completely wrong. Like, do this instead. Yeah. There takes a great deal of humility to do that.
But that also shows that he's evolving and learning. And you're not just sticking with the same thing that, it worked with this.
You're trying to protect your brand and knowing it doesn't work.
But it might have worked then. That might have been what was working then. But does sports evolve? They all evolve, right? Especially the sport you're in and we're in. Like,
very good point.
Man, it evolved so much. So something that would have worked back then, guys are getting caught in arm bars and things, triangles. Now it's like you barely ever see that. Guys don't want to defend. So like,
you know how to negate that.
That pitching, that could have like watch sports from different eras. They all look different. It's a slower, it's a faster. It's basketball was different. They shot from different angles. The athletes weren't as big. Football players were more aggressive, but they weren't as technical. Hockey, like all the sports have evolved. You know what I mean? Like
if somebody says he doesn't watch sports, you pretty much fucking nailed it there, bud. I think he might be putting one on here.
He's a closeted sports fan.
He was on his phone the whole time down in Miami watching the game. Oh, you got to fuck. What's the center doing downfield?
You know, I could tell you I don't know anything about sports. I was in Atlanta last year at some point, and the guy I worked for, I used to do commentary in Bangkok for Muay Thai fights. And he's like, hey, ESPN's doing this like recruiting thing. Like you could do a tryout for like, you know, kind of like being a commentator. I was like, I'm on my run. I'm like, he's like, dude, you got to do it. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I go to the stadium where they're hosting this thing. I show up, and it's I'm asking around, like, hey, I'm here for the ESPN, on-air talent, whatever, tryouts. I'm looking around. I'm like, it was like an all black something, whatever. It was like, wow, I'm really kind of like, I don't think it's not for me. I'm not supposed to be here, I don't think. I show up, I'm inside the Atlanta Falcons Stadium. I'm trying to think who. There was like some guest speakers. It was just insane.
Was this for a Super Bowl commercial?
It was not for a Super Bowl commercial, but it was like I can't remember the name of it. But I show up, I just walk around like I know what I'm talking about. I got like Hawaiian shorts on and a t-shirt, and I'm like, everybody's dressed nice, and I'm like, hey, I'm here for the on-air talent, and she's like, all right, well, let's schedule you, and she schedules me, and she's like, you're coming back on Saturday. I'm like, all right, great. I fly out later on that day or whatever. I'm like, cool. So I come back Saturday. I put a little something nice around, whatever, I button up. I'm in line with all these like young kids, and she comes out. She's like, all right, everybody got the email, right, of the questions that we're going to go over or whatever? And I was like, I never got the email. But I'm like, I've done this before, right? I've done some commentary. I could do this.
How hard can it be?
How hard can it be? So I'm like, there's another kid there who's nervous, and I kind of help him like get out of his nerves. And like he goes in the room and comes out. And it's like, oh, that was great or whatever. And I was like, I got this. And I go in there, and it's a top 10 like plays of the week. They're playing on a screen, and I'm supposed to like talk about it. But I have no idea how to talk about it. I'm like, don't even know like how to talk about half these sports. I understand basketball, but I'm like,
he's shooting and it went in.
That's exactly. That's how I did it. It was like, and they played all 10.
Boom,
so I'm standing there like this, and I'm like, oh my god, like, oh, she puts the ball, it goes in the hole.
That's like, a good putt.
I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, they played all 10 of them.
Somebody,
and I'm like,
please, at ESPN, I am begging you.
And I said,
listening to this. Find this tape.
Oh my
Find
God.
this audition tape.
At one point, I think I was looking out the window. I'm like, why haven't they stopped? Why haven't they like given up at this point? Like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, he passes the ball, he shoots the ball, it gets in the hole, and I'm like, in my like, I'm like, I am dying. I am bombing this. I'm like, I went from like, I could do this. Like the cocky dude walking in. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I've done this before on TV, and let's go. And I'm like, and then I watched after how they do it, and it's just like. They play the sports, and the commentators are already talking about it. So I'm like, I should have just like made up names. Like, Tommy shoots it over to Jimmy. Jimmy shoots it in. It's a hole in one. Like, I could have done that. Yeah. It just made it like a skit, but I just bombed. But then we talked about it, and she's like, well, what have you done before? I'm like, well, I understand these sports. Like, I could talk about these sports. Like, I don't know the moves I don't know the positions they're playing. Like, I kind of have a general idea. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about sports. I can kind of like make it sound like I do. But I don't know what the ref ring, white ring.
Terms,
yeah, like if it's hockey, like I kind of know what position they are, but I don't know what they're doing. And I'm like I'm sweating. I'm like, first, before I even go in the place, I'm out in front of the stadium, and there's like maybe it was a frog or like maybe a dragonfly on the ground, and I'm like taking a like ground angle zoom picture of it, and this dude walks by, and I was like, what's up, man? And he walks by, and he was the dude in there doing the filming. I'm like, oh, he probably saw me outside. I look like a wacko. I'm taking a picture of a bug on the sidewalk, and then I'm in there like, I walk in, I was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, oh, they already think I'm like a weirdo, and I was like, and it just bombed, dude. It couldn't have bombed any harder.
Well, I think in that you
was
know how you helped get the one guy out of his nerves.
Yeah,
You were talking about
yeah.
It's the
So I
same
think
thing you do
no, I
in-
know.
in
Like,
fighting,
so I
too.
was there for a reason. Like,
Probably
one,
part
like
of your purpose.
two
you know
people
what I
took
mean?
off and were like, maybe that guy got the job. That'd be awesome, you know? Like,
Probably it was probably like Scott Van Pelt.
Exactly right.
but it was just such a humbling experience to be like, wow, you think you know, and then I bring those things with me to these like fights, you know, like even like the nerves. Like I haven't fought in such a long time, so sometimes I feel like, how can I tell these people, like, you gotta relax? Like I'm not gonna ever tell you to relax. Like I know what you're feeling, but it's been so far removed. So like I started racing dirt bikes for a little bit. Somebody talked me into it, and at the first one of those, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm on the track. I'm like, why am I out here? Guys are like running into me. I'm like, what am I?
Like an artist adrenaline junkie,
I'm like, what am I
man. You're
doing?
like-
I don't know about that, because I'm like, I shouldn't be out here. Then I went back and I was obsessed about it, and I raced every race, and then I ended up winning the season. But I just kept going.
Soft flex.
But yeah,
Never
it
did
was,
before,
it was.
won
Yeah.
the season,
Yeah,
whatever.
no
you know.
biggie.
I was kind of cool, right? like
Kind
I
of a
barely rode a
prodigy,
motorcycle
a
for like a couple
wonderkid.
years, and then I like got on it, and I won. But every time I'd roll up to those races, it felt like when I'd be on the bus going to the gym back in the days, and I'd be like, we're probably gonna spar today or something. You just like, why am I nervous? Like I want to be here, I want to do it, but you get those nerves. Every time I'd be like miles away from the race, I'd
Yeah,
be like,
performance
I'd
anxiety.
pull in to park the van, and I'd get the bike all ready and fill it up full of gas and put on my little outfit and all that stuff you put on, and you're like, oh. And you go out there, and it's a hair scramble, so they're all lined up, and I'm way in the back because I'm new, Guy drops the flag, boom. Then he goes 10 seconds. Then that one goes, and so it's like it's coming to you, and you're like, so you gotta like take off, and you're like trying not to get run over, and then you gotta like drive for another hour and a half. The race is like hour and a half, 2 hours, and so you gotta go through that like initial adrenaline dump where your like arms are dead from the arm pump from holding on to the handlebar so tight, and it's like it was nice to feel that, so that when I go to these fights with these guys, I'm like, I kind of have an idea of what you feel like. I feel like sometimes maybe trainers and coaches are so far removed from that, and it's that happens. Like you fought maybe at one time, maybe you never have, and you're just a really talented guy and you understand the sport, and there's nothing wrong with that either, but it's nice to have those feelings of like, all right, I know what it's like to feel uncomfortable, like, and going to that ESPN thing and bomb, and it's like, I know what it's like to go out there and put yourself out there and be like, all right, it didn't work out.
So
know?
I think what you're describing is very, very important. And I think this is an insight into what makes you such an effective coach is like, at the same time, you understand the value of being competitive, of competition, but you measure it with perspective of like,
Yeah,
all right, like what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Right. So it's because too many people are too. It seems like, and I definitely struggle with this as an athlete. It's all or nothing. It's like, oh, this doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? I'll drink or I don't fucking care. Whatever.
Yeah, but
it's just a game.
Do you tell yourself that because of the high risk reward? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually,
It's like
and
a coping mechanism.
me and
like
Mick
the
have
John
talked about.
Jones thing.
I don't know if we've talked about it on air, but we've talked about it a lot off air. I think a lot of the guys I played with, in retrospect, it was a stress reaction, and they fucked up on purpose to give themselves an out, because it's a very difficult thing
To just be like, I wasn't good
It's
enough.
hard, man.
Versus
Oh,
I
it's a
only
hard
did it
thing.
because I was drinking.
Yeah, exactly. If I only didn't drink.
Right.
If I didn't cheat on my wife, my head was all fucked
Well,
up.
that's what I felt like in
You
the
know?
first race. Like I was out there, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I shouldn't. I shouldn't be out here. Like, so what? I lost. I like last place or whatever. It was like, but I built those excuses in ahead of time. I'm like, well, I don't want to. Then after that, I was like, I don't want to. That's not me. I don't want to feel that way, because I've seen that. I've seen that where guys have walking out to the fight, and all of a sudden you just hear them talking. I'm like, oh man, they're already putting that.
They're
excuse-
laying
Yeah.
in the pipe. Yeah.
So in case something doesn't go right, or they know it's not going to go right, or they don't put themselves out there enough, and I've seen guys who were like that, and then by the end of their career, they've completely changed. Which that's what makes.
What are
it,
some triggers, man? Like, what are some triggers for young fighters out there? Like, if somebody's coming out and they're like, "Oh, this isn't the right song," or like what? Like, what are some triggers that you as
I
a
don't
coach
know,
hear?
dude. I mean, not even that. Like, maybe you're just like I'm tired, or my legs don't feel right. It's like just little things. Like, it gets in here. I remember once before a fight, like I'm in the back warming up. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. My legs are shot. They're done. I'm like so nervous.
People
My
talk
legs.
about that a lot. Like
My
not
legs.
having their legs.
I'm like,
that
why?
night.
Why are they just like feel like?
Is that the adrenaline dump?
Yeah,
Is
I
that,
think
like,
so.
what-
I don't
yeah.
know. I think it was a tournament. So it was like the second time I fought, but I was just like, I was just, I guess, scared. And you don't want to admit that's what that feeling is. You're like, well, nothing's working down there. Like, I can't. And then you go out in the ring, and it's like the fight's over. Like, I don't remember what happened. I remember like bits and pieces. I hit him, he hit me, but it's just
Like in a
weird.
blur.
Yeah, it's like slow motion, fast forward, and it's like, all right, it's over, and somehow he
Jason,
won.
I think you just described a concussion, friend.
I think I've had a permanent concussion
I
since
think-
like '99. But no, it maybe I got hit hard enough where that could be it. But it's like it's a weird. Sometimes a tunnel vision. Sometimes you see what's going on. Sometimes you
Sure.
don't. Sometimes you can't wait for it to be over. Sometimes it goes. It's the weirdest thing ever because it's like this weird time, slow, fast. You're in a tunnel. You're out of it. You hear noises. You hear a voice. You don't. I mean, you could be beating this guy up, or you could be getting beat up, and it's just a weird time warp you go through, and it's over. You're like, oh, I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's like getting tattooed. You're like, this is horrible. I want it to be over, and it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Can I schedule the next one?
Yeah.
And then you guys have this like, I don't even as like a trainer like that weird. You do it, and it's over, and you won. Hopefully you won, and it's like, and then like by Wednesday hits after Saturday, it's like I'm depressed. I'm like, what now? What?
Yeah.
That's
I have
remarkable.
nothing. Like, and it could probably happen in sports too, but I feel like when it's not so much of an individual sport, it's more like a team sport. You have all these other people to kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, it didn't go well,
You got
so
those
we
built-in
all
excuses
we get to
as well.
spread it out, which
Yeah.
is, but it's like
And
when
also
it's
you
just
have
you.
people to commiserate with. You
Yeah.
can be like, hey,
No,
buddy,
it's all on
next
you,
year,
really.
But it's all on
It's
you,
all
and
on
you
you.
and you you're out there with the lights on,
Yeah.
and it's like
Damn
everybody's
near in your
looking,
underwear.
and you feel, yeah, man, and you're out there naked, and it's like, and it doesn't go wrong. It's like, man, that's hard to come back from.
It's fascinating here you talk about this because I tell people the same thing when people are like, hey, I've been thinking about doing comedy, and I'm like, do it, and
Same,
then
right?
and then you're gonna suck and see if you still want to do it,
But
and
you
then
go-
you'll know.
and you're
You'll
going
figure
up
it
there,
out.
and you're putting like, yeah, I couldn't imagine being up there and having to. It's you and
Go up there, eat shit. Understand we all eat shit for years until you figure it out. But if you want to get back up after eating
That's
shit,
what I felt like in that ESPN room. I got all these people looking at me, and I'm like, oh my.
you ever think about
goodness.
doing comedy? You want to give it a go?
I think about doing anything, right? I'll give it a try. Why not?
Well, buddy,
I'm,
I got a gift for you, man. You come on my show.
but then I'd have to I don't know if I could just maybe I could do things off the whim, but
I feel like you'd be an entertaining.
I mean,
5 minutes,
you'd
for
have
sure.
to like tell. I always think about that. Like, what would I do? What story would I tell? Like, could I tell like a random story of me in the gym in New York, like the time I chased a guy down the street pissing in the hallway with my boxing gloves on, and then you just kind of go from there.
Yes.
Or the guy who walked in with his pants full
Tell
of
us
shit.
that story now
So-
before I
so-
leave for
Yeah, wait,
softball.
his pants full of shit.
So I had I worked and partially owned a gym in New York for a while, and it was in a basement. It was like you had to go down like a couple flights, and it's like the door outside was hard to find. So it was like not a lot of people just walked in and out, but it's New York, and we had more people wander in and out when the OTB was upstairs, off track betting for those of you that don't know. So like there's some characters that hang out there, and the toilet would drip through the ceiling. Anyways. So one particular day, I do believe it was like, I think the Giants or one of the teams that play that sport you like that makes you angry, they won a Super Bowl. So they had the parade downtown, you know what I mean? The parade was downtown, and we had cameras that actually worked at the time so you could see like the entrance of the gym upstairs. And I'm in the ring like sparring with somebody or moving around like I'd like to do too much probably. And someone's like, yo, someone's pissing. So I was like, I hopped out of the ring. I have my gloves on. I run upstairs. He looks at me. He runs out the door. I chase him on the block. I was like, you got to come clean this up. But I still have my gloves on, you know? Still have my gloves on. I gave him a bucket and a mop, and I made him clean it up, and then he went on his way, you know? And I was like, but I couldn't imagine what he thought. I'm running at him. I'm like, I don't think I was going to. I might have hit him at one. I didn't, but I thought maybe I would have had to. And then there was another time.
You would have went to hit him, and then you'd smell him, and you'd be like,
You just, I understand. It's New York. There's nowhere to piss. I understand that. But, like, don't go, like, you walk down, like, a flight of stairs. Like, just do it in the opening. Like, whatever. So, you got to go down a couple flights of stairs to get to the gym, right? And
I'm already out.
one time I'm there.
Too much cardio.
I'm in there, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm lifting. No, someone's, like, lifting weights. They're, like, curling. So you walk in the gym. Here's the front door. You got to go around the front door, walk through, like, the weights section from, like, the 1970s. And then you walk down this hallway, and the toilet's in the back.
It sounds like you're, like, describing Gleason's a little bit.
It's New York gyms. They're all kind of the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this guy walks in the front desk. The guy at the front desk, he asks if he can use the bathroom. The guy's like, you don't usually let people use the bathroom. And the guy's like, all right, walks by, walks through. And all of a sudden, the guy at the front desk goes, smells and looks at me. I think I'm in the ring, like holding pads. And then the guy, like lifting weights, stops and goes, hey, man, it smells like shit in here. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, yo, I yelled at the guy at the front desk, like, you better go follow that dude. Because he kind of walked in. Like, look, he was holding the back of his pants as he was walking in. I was like, why'd you let that guy come in? He's like, you said you used the bathroom. I'm like, I think he already used the bathroom. I think he was like, but like, who walks down 4 flights of stairs with a pile of shit in your pants?
Oh my god.
He was holding it like,
Welcome to New York.
it was like he was holding it
Concrete jungle where dreams
like
are
a sandwich in his
made
back pocket. and I guess I made the guy go in there and clean it up because the guy left. He walks out like nothing. Hey, guys, see you later. Thanks. You know, I was like, take it easy. I was
Oh
like,
my
He
god.
just traipsed shit all through the fucking gym.
dude, he was like Picasso in that bathroom, man. The walls.
Oh no.
Like, what was he
no.
doing in there?
Oh, Jackson Pollock back there.
Did he take off his shorts and
Oh,
like wing it
no.
around?
Oh,
But yeah, I made the guy at the front desk clean it up.
Christian, we need you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a lot of interesting things happening. In
Oh,
that
you
city.
definitely got 5 minutes.
Man.
We got to get you on stage. Definitely got 5 minutes.
But yeah, I
man.
might get out there and pull an ESPN and just stand there. But that could work too.
Work for Norm.
Still be funny.
Stand there and not talk
Listen,
about it.
I got to take off. You guys
All
keep
right.
going. Jason, this is fantastic.
No, we'll wrap up. We'll
Yeah,
get
'cause
Jason
I
back
got-
on.
I
We
gotta-
gotta
yeah.
eat food and stuff. And
Okay,
go to sleep
cool.
and train in the morning.
I gotta go to the lady and stuff. you know.
Oh, dude. Well, I hope I didn't scare you away with my rants and raves, but you're fantastic. I will tell you from an outsider's perspective, the way the guys talk about you at the gym, the utmost respect for you. You know, they love you, and you know the impact that you have on those guys from somebody that knows nothing about nothing. It's very palpable. So I mean that has to be the best thing anybody could possibly say about the impact that you have on these
Yeah.
guys. So
I think that's why I still do it.
yeah, I know you may be being a little bit humble in saying what you said before about not having any impact, and Mick could speak about this. a
I
lot
mean,
more than
I
can,
know.
but-
I know. I mean, I probably wouldn't be still doing this if I didn't at some point. Like, yeah. I just don't want to get all sad. To be honest.
I hear you, bro. Well, hey, man.
Yeah, you got to open invite. We'll have you back soon,
Cool.
too.
Awesome.
And when Gerard hasn't just watched the
Yeah,
Super
we-
Bowl,
maybe-
won't have his
maybe
Super
not
Bowl
a
hangover.
giant-
We'll have a little bit
Tranquilo.
more,
I'll be tranquilo.
No big
more
sporting
bullshit,
events.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like-
I'll get my
we'll make
coloring
sure.
book. I'll get my coloring book out. And bring my
Yeah.
maybe don't have 2 espressos, and I'll bring myself down a little bit.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Can you imagine if I watched like the Grammys or the Emmys or something like that?
Oh.
My God, I
Should we
don't think I
watch it
would make
together?
That would,
That would actually be a really funny. We watch the Grammys on this and just watch Gerard
Yeah.
have a fucking aneurysm.
Oh, I love it.
You'd watch him die. He would die.
It'd be amazing.
This is Satanism.
Yeah.
This is Satan.
Yeah, that could be
We're
interesting.
building a wall around the wrong country. Build a wall around California. What are we doing? Why are we building a wall around the Latinos? We love the Latinos. Anyway, I gotta go play softball.
You have a
Hey, go channel that into your fucking softball. Get a couple dingers, all right?
have a safe evening.
Thank you, bro. Jason, tell the people where they can find you if you want them to find you.
Like my address.
Sure.
Want to come hang
Your
out?
digital address. Your ats.
You want to come visit me at my house? Maybe we can cook pasta. I don't know.
Take pictures of ducks, like whatever.
Oh yeah, I got ducks.
Yeah.
Oh, I feed this giant toad.
Don't follow me online. Don't follow Jason online. Go see him at the Bright Line randomly. Just hang
Oh,
out
I
at the Bright Line.
I wish I wrote. There's a tri-rail, man. I'm not at the high class yet.
Nick, take us out, man. Take us out.
This has been Slick and Thick. Jason Strout, thanks for joining us. You don't got an Instagram you want to share?
What is it?
Let's see your pretty
at
pictures.
Coach Strout.
At Coach Strout.
At Coach Strout.
That's Gerard DGAF. Stands for
Gerard
don't-
DGAF.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Gerard.
But it's
don't give
becoming
a fuck.
very clear Gerard gives
Yeah,
fucks.
and it's good to give a fuck, buddy.
I
it's
think
good to
so.
give a fuck.
Check out the Wellness Company. It's keeping me alive. TWC.HEALTH /slick and thick. Barely. Eat battle bars, drink brute seltzer. Enjoy yourself with a couple
Wear
shekels.
some Nevin sunglasses because the future's so damn.
Wear some Nevin sunglasses because the future is so damn bright. And definitely check out betus.com. Use code SNT125 for all of your gaming needs. We will see you guys tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow. Bye,
Peace.
guys. Love you.
Bye.
Biggest.